Speak through the walls of stone. When I saw you leave, I felt you go. As the heart's borderline, blinding from a distance. No more resistance. So I speak up, I scream into the void. I reach for a hand to guide. just to be where you are. In a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me. Where you dream just to be where you are. In a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me. Where you won't you come over? Dying to know where you came from. We're breaking open. Feel like our future's just begun. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world. Waiting for no one. We're headed straight up for the sun. They'll never notice. We'll take these cities on our own. if we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away where no one knows. Let's run away together on our own. Just lead me into your world. Feel
gonna get a fast track, but you can't just piggyback. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger. Before it's good, it's gotta get worse, and sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that bad, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Rocket League Rival Series. I'm Tom F. Battinger, and again, welcome to my humble abode. We've got a fantastic day of action for you. 4 fun-filled matches. We've got 4 fantastic commentators. Well, yeah, we got 4, but 2 are on stage right now. Say hello to Subi and Spaceman. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. How y'all feeling? What's up, Subi?
Good afternoon. Feeling pretty good, pretty good. It is a nice, dreary day outside, but, you know, those are kind of nice from time to time. So, once again, I've got the coffee to warm me up, and I've got the mug to get the day started right. I'm so prepped and pumped for these matches laid out in front of us.
You are my sunshine on a dreary day, Subi. Spaceman, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm worried about Subi. That's his 5th cup of coffee, man. Like, we got to help him out.
You know,
Hey,
don't even start.
Broadcast days, broadcast fun. Like I said, 4 fun-filled matches, high-octane stuff along the way. But North America has been a hotbed of emotion and action. Let's take a look at the teams that have been playing out here in our scene. So NA has been all about Stromboli. These guys did find a loss last week, but Stromboli have been the top of the crop so far. 5-1. Omni Nation, they're playing this week, unlike Stromboli, taking a week off after the loss, and they are 4-1. We'll see if they ascend to the same as Stromboli or if they fall back. RBG struggling, and everybody else just squashed up there in the middle. We're seeing a lot of these teams kind of hang out in the middle of the pack, able to get 2 or 3 wins, but unfortunately fall down to some of the other squads as well. So an interesting look. I have been a big fan of watching Absolute Leverage play. I started out kind of hoping from Monkey Business. Spaceman, where was your heart at as far as what team did you want to see kind of succeed?
To start the season, I really wanted to see 72 PC succeed because there was a big storyline behind them. they've obviously figured some things out. Now they're kind of back in the mix. But I think North America has this interesting middle pack of teams. Like Omni Nation has started to spread themselves out there at the top, of course, in second place. But you have Charlotte Phoenix 2-2. Like I don't think many of us expected this with the pickup of Turo. Like this was a complete surprise. And I think that again, this middle pack of North America is going to shake out, and we might see some teams slip and slide down and some head spin as we close into the end of the season.
I mean, it's certainly possible. Watching these kind of guys kind of jockey for position. They're playing for, of course, the prestige, but they're playing for a shot at the big show. We've got a couple of RLCS veterans here that have played on some teams, but should their team reach number 1, well, then the whole squad goes up to the RLCS, and we see the number 10 team join us here at the rival stage. Teams number 2 and 3 from the rival series will play against teams number 8 and 9 from the RLCS to see who winds up where. And then, of course, everybody else just has to figure it all out. As far as money is concerned, that's up there too. $13,000 for the number 1 team in North America at the end of our rival series. And we're coming to a close. Just a couple more weeks. 10, 9, 8 for second, third, and fourth, respectively. And money all the way down to 10th place for sure. So a lot on the line here. Like I said, the money is absolutely, well, that's how you pay your bills. I'll take it. But a trip to the RLCS, that's what people want to see. Subi,
Yeah.
You've been here forever. What does a team look like that ascends to the RLCS?
I mean, generally, you see a team that utilizes a lot of team play, don't have a lot of mistakes, and also the ability to change things on the fly. You know, we've seen teams come out and in game 1 get stomped, but the difference maker is the team that can come out and in game 2 make those changes and propel themselves to victory. That's what is an RLCS caliber team. And this season we have a very close race, 1 through 3, all 1 losses. So myself, selfishly, I hope it comes down to the last week where it's like, okay, this team has to win to get first place, or if not, then Stromboli takes it or something like that, just to keep it exciting. I hope it comes down to the wire like that. I know it's unfortunate for the teams for it to play out like that. But as a viewer, you know, just to be unbiased, like that is so fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Give me the action. Give me that deep drama. But like what you said, here at the rival stage, obviously you've got to improve and grow, and you got to see what kind of teams can take those game number 1s and then turn them around and turn them into a win. And that's something that we've seen out of Omni Nation. They're going to be the team playing in our first matchup today. They'll be going head-to-head against Karma and the rest of Charlotte Phoenix. Match number 2 after that, we'll see Warriors International face off against 72 Pin Connector. Monkey Business will go up against the winless RBG Esports. Hopefully they can make a ruling in their favor. An Absolute Leverage versus Mirage. And I'm serious when I say this. I think that 4th match is going to be the one worth looking at. But let's talk Charlotte Phoenix and Omni Nation. These 2 teams coming into it, like you said, Charlotte Phoenix. I think people expected a little bit more. Spaceman, what's been holding Phoenix back?
I think it's the same problem that a lot of teams have had, which is the teams that all sit in the middle of the pack is about puzzle pieces. You have all the pieces. How do you put them together? Karma has been great individually. Shadow and Turantura have been great as a duality threat or as a dual threat, and their duality on the field has been great. But putting the pieces together, they've come up short in big moments. There's a reason they're sitting at 2-2. Last week they played on B Stream. They beat Mirage, so hats off to them. They've tied up their score. But it's the same reason most of these teams sit in the middle of the pack, man. They just can't figure out how to put themselves together on the field when it comes down to crunch time. And there's a reason that Omni Nation and Stromboli are sitting at 5-1 and 4-1 respectively in standings, is because they've stepped up when they had to, and they've shown that they can finally push that extra mile to get themselves ahead of the competition.
Well, Omni Nation sitting up 4-1, as you mentioned, number 2 on the standings. Percy, Jordan, and Magic Bear. These guys have looked real good. I've liked their ability to kind of come from behind. As we move into prediction zone here, excuse me. Subi, are you going with Omni Nation, or do you think Charlotte Phoenix, despite the 2-2, have a chance to make that a 3?
Well, you know, if you look at Omni Nation's schedule, they kind of had a pretty easy start to the season. Not the toughest schedule. Now they're going to the back half. Now we're going to see what this team is really all about. And we all know what Charlotte Phoenix bring, and that's insane team plays, midfield passing plays, great dribble plays. With a pickup of Turinturo, this team is scary. But the mistakes we've seen from them, they really bother me, and I think it's going to continue to plague them. And I think a team like Omni Nation are going to be able to expose them for that. So for me, I've got Omni Nation in this match. I wouldn't be, shocked if it went to game 5, but I think Omni Nation is going to come out on top.
Spaceman, your thoughts?
Yeah, looking at this at first, I had looked at Omni Nation. Of course, the clearer record was I was immediately indicating that to just better team play, which they do have. But the big thing for me that's standing out is Charlotte Phoenix are right on the precipice of figuring this out, and they're a lot further ahead than most teams. They have 3 individually skilled players, no question about it. And on top of that, just last week, they both Omni Nation and Charlotte played Mirage. They both won, but Charlotte actually played Omni Nation and they won 3-0 and Ting of the Hill 2. It was an online cup, but it still counts. And I think that going up against Omni Nation this week, continue that same success. I'm sticking with this upset. I'm going to say that Charlotte is going to take it, and I think they're going to do it pretty even-handedly.
I like that. I'm also going to go Charlotte. I'm looking for the upset here. 4-1. But I think Subi made a great point that Omni Nation's strength of schedule hasn't been exactly numero uno up until this point. Omni Nation found their first loss versus Monkey Business just last week. Monkey Business isn't exactly top of the crop. They've struggled a little bit more than we'd like to have seen. And for me, Charlotte Phoenix, veterancy is a big deal. Karma's been here, and more importantly than just you've been on the big stage are the lessons that you learn from being on the big stage, and VOD review and looking at what goes wrong and what goes right is very important to me. They're coming off of a win last time versus Mirage, who I hold in high regard, and then had a bye week. So the win, time to recuperate and kind of spend time in the gym, so to speak, and learn what went wrong. Charlotte Phoenix all the way, baby. I would be very surprised if Omni Nation takes this one. So I think Charlotte Phoenix are lined up for the victory. And I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what happens when you guys come back to me. Subi and Spaceman, take it away.
So, Subi, to kind of move off of F.Dot's point, and you talked about it a little bit in your prediction, what exactly does Omni Nation have to do to Charlotte Phoenix to try to sterilize them and kind of remove those X factors, right? You talked about they have mistakes on the field. That's the reason they're sitting at 2-2. What exactly is Omni Nation looking for going into the first match?
Well, just keep bringing that rookie magic. And speaking of magic Bear is going to be integral to the success of this team. If he doesn't show up, I don't think they're going to be successful. But they also have Percy. And this is a guy that has 10 MVP medals on the season, which is the most in North America. He has been incredible thus far. But to answer your question directly, what do they have to do to stop Charlotte Phoenix? You cannot play parallel defense against this team. You have to have someone kind of spying at midfield or spying at the top of your own box to try and disrupt those passing plays, because I can guarantee you they will be coming out. The passes will be there, but if Omni Nation can stay ahead of the curve and jump those passing lanes, they're going to have 2v1 scenarios pretty handedly in this match, but it's all about being able to capitalize on them. And it's going to be difficult because, there are some veterans on Charlotte Phoenix. Karma has a lot of 1v1 skills. So if you're coming down the field, you got to reach into the bag of tricks and try and get creative with it.
Now, also to kind of harp on that point, I know we could always talk about Karma and Shadow, who have been in this position. Of course, she's been here for years, but I think the addition of Turinturo was supposed to go a little bit better than expected. Of course, powerhouse, phenomenal defensive, but also individually skilled. Can you speak to some of those strengths about his presence on this team? I know Stacks we've talked about in the green room before about Turinturo could be easily the best player in North America. What is it about him that kind of propels any team you put him into?
And just real quick, we're having some connection issues with players. They're trying to join the lobby right now. So that's what we're waiting on. But perfect time to bring up Turinturo. He is just a player that is so fast. And I believe last season, as far as overall rating went, I think he led the league. I could be mistaken on that, and I apologize if I am. But, if he didn't lead it, he was up in the top 5 for sure. This guy was crazy, insane fast with Full Metal Gaming. This season, definitely a little slower. His shooting percentage, not quite as good. Last season, he was shooting about 27%. This season, 24. So, I mean, roughly the same. But what makes him so good is just the speed factor. He doesn't take extra seconds or milliseconds, if you will, to try and read balls coming off the wall. He just seems to have like a sixth sense for being able to read angles that the ball's going to take off of a wall, off of an opponent's car. And because of that, he's to those balls so quickly that he just beats out opponents. And it looks like it's with ease when in reality, it's a split second decision. And it just translates to these big wide open plays for him. It's fun to watch, but this season with this brand new team, he hasn't been able to shine quite as much as he did last season.
I think it's kind of interesting how this season's played out specifically in North America, right? Like we have Stromboli, who you and I got the pleasure of casting them. I think it was in week 3, and just incredibly well-rounded, an incredibly polished team, I think is the right word. And quietly, all of a sudden, Omni Nation, crept their way through the ranks. Yeah, they played some lesser performing teams, and the reason that they're currently 4-1 is probably due to that. But at the end of the day, right, they're sitting in second place. Stromboli is in number 1. Of course, this could be a matchup we see go head to head for the first place finish. At that point, it's an argument to be made whether or not, playing lesser teams could actually give you a boost. I would argue against it, but this team sits at 4-1, man. They're in second right now in the league. Do you think that they've kind of been skating by? Not that they haven't been playing great by no stretch of the imagination. They've been playing amazing, and we've casted over and we've seen it. But do you think that playing some of these undervalued teams can affect you as the season progresses? Because yes, the record is great, but are you picking up nuances? Are you picking up different things, on the field that you can incorporate into your gameplay? Whereas a team like Charlotte Phoenix is sitting at 2-2, but those 2 losses and those 2 wins were a little bit more hard fought over.
I think you could argue for either one. And I hesitate to be an advocate for either side because on one hand, yes, you could come out and open up against the hardest teams. And obviously, if you come out on top, then it's an easy coast downhill. But I guess I'm going to sit on the side of I think it's beneficial to open up the season against the worst teams, if you will. And I'm sorry if I offended anyone by saying that, but this is Rocket League. There's teams that are better than others. I think that does help a team out. It gets them kind of warmed up. It's kind of like your practice matches, getting ready for the big games, getting ready for the playoffs, getting ready for, the championship. Like it's almost like playing scrims with a little more stake on the line. I guess I'm going to sit on that side of the fence just a little bit, maybe 1 foot on the ground. I'm not fully diving in just yet. I think Omni Nation, it's definitely helped them being a rookie team, not having to face those strong opponents in the earlier half of the season. But I guess only time will tell, right? Like we still have a couple more weeks to go, and we're going to see what this team truly is made out of.
It's oftentimes whatever esport you play, it's really often that like the rookie teams that come in, maybe they make their way through pools and they come into open bracket and they just get berated by lower pack pros, but they're still good enough to obviously to be a pro. So they're like, wow, we didn't really get a chance to show our colors in the league. That happens so often, whatever esport you play. But I think Rocket League, especially Rivals, is an interesting microcosm into the future of these players, because you could have a rookie squad that gets maybe a lucky break in their schedule. They don't get the hardest teams in their bracket, and they get up just enough to where they have a great record. They're sitting in a prime position to control their destiny. They get enough of a boost to where they maybe have a chance to be in top 4. So you get to be brought back. You get a little bit of money. You get that chance to play against the best. But it seems like Omni Nation, man, like it's kind of like all the right things happening all at once. The perfect storm. The rookie team, everyone's performing. They don't play the hardest teams, but their record hasn't suffered because of it. Now they're here. They have a great record at 4-1. They could make it 5-1 today, right behind Stromboli by a game, could possibly take them out for 1. And they haven't really had to been pushed to the limit, and we haven't seen what their limit is yet. So I think that this is a really interesting matchup. We have one team that's struggling to get out of the middle of the pack, who needs to get this win today. I mean, do or die for Charlotte Phoenix. And Omni Nation, who, these rookies who have skated by but done the work to where it's acceptable, And now they're sitting on the precipice of being number 1 and 2 respectively, no question. And okay, is it if they play a better team now they're struggling? I think this is an interesting match, man.
Well, it is interesting, and we talked about, the reason for this delay is player connection issue. And, I can expand on that a little further. Jordan is having some issues right now connecting to servers and having issues with his ping, but they're deciding to just play through it. So he's going to have, and I'm looking at it right now, about 140 ping, but they're going to fight through it. They're not going to pull out the sub. So got to wonder if that's going to hurt them. And now, and now I'm starting to scratch my head. Okay, should I pick Charlotte Phoenix? Because if they're not at full strength, I don't know if they're going to beat Charlotte Phoenix. I think they have to be firing on all cylinders because the Charlotte Phoenix are a solid team. Their win-loss doesn't reflect that. They're 2-2, but don't let it be mistaken. They're one of the best teams in the rival series for sure. And if you're not going up against them full strength, it's a scary story.
I'm assuming this decision is more done for sake of, we've been there when you're competing, you're like, okay, let's just play through it. But do you think that they should bring in the sub? Look, listen, they have Creams. This is the guy we were saying, oh my God, he's one of the most incredible players we've ever seen week 1. They have a guy who scored 4 or 5 goals and single-handedly stole the show. Do you think this is a situation where maybe, I guess it's a little too late now, but maybe they look back on this and think, wow, we should have used our sub?
They could still pull them out later on. So we'll see what happens. But I think where it matters, and you'll see it play out on the field, is in challenges. You see right there, he just got beat out. And that's going to be the difference maker because that 140 ping, you're not going to miss the ball. You're not going to miss your shots. What it does is it puts a little separation between you and your opponents, and it gives them a little more time. And that's not what you want for Turinturo. You don't want to give him more time.
Yeah. Yeah, and those little small differences, man, even a second is too long in this game. And speaking of too long, that defense hovered just a bit as Jordan was able to knock it away from the net. So a save from Omni Nation. Never mind Shadow off the side of the wall. It's going to knock one through, and they're going to go up 1-0 to start game 1.
Yeah, look at the decision here from the defender. If we get to see it, oh, you see him turn outside going towards the back post. And right there, you got to challenge the ball. You can't go that far backwards because you leave the net wide open. And Charlotte Phoenix up by 1 early here in game 1, but still plenty of time for Omni Nation as they get to work in the offensive half.
And if Jordan's a little bit of a step behind, you don't really want him sitting back on defense for things like this, a miss hit and a great flick. Shadow's going to easily dust off the top shelf, and Karma with a beautiful play to send it right up to her teammate.
Well, and there's Jordan in the corner missing that ball. You got to wonder what that is attributed to, but either way, he needs to have that hit for his teammates. And you said it, Shadow with his second one here in game 1, that's 2 goals. Numbers confuse me, I apologize. And 2 assists for Karma.
This could be number 3. Turinturo just took it. Oh my. See you later.
And this is what he brings to the field.
We talked about him. Where do you put him on the team? If you bring him in, we talk about, if you want to look at stats, of course in baseball it's called wins above replacement. You take a player out, how much does that team actually win when they're not in? I think Mike Trout is one of the greatest in history. Turinturo is one of those war kind of guys. You take him out, we'll see how the team does. You put him in, he immediately makes others better. He's just one of those players. And of course we can only attribute Jordan's play to just missing open hits, and we'll see what they elect to do if this series extends. But for now, you have to wonder, is Omni Nation going to gain control of their half? They finally do. And Percy is looking to extend the play. Jordan now over. Does not win the challenge. Up for Shadow, and Karma will have easy time handling that and sending it back to the corner.
And a good hit there from Magic. You saw Karma up on that side wall. Magic had one spot to put it, one spot only, and he hits it beautifully. Little waterfall down. Turinturo there for the cleanup. And so far, Omni Nation, while they have 2 shots on the board, not much offense coming out from them. Charlotte Phoenix have held strong on defense.
Great hit from Turinturo. It's going to go off the sidewall. And back to midfield. Shadow wins the challenge somehow. Here comes Karma. And she sets it up for no one as it's knocked away in a demo in favor. Another demo as Karma clears out midfield. No problem. One over defender. That's passed up for Karma, and a beautiful save from Magic Bear. Keeps this game at just 3 goals, but they're looking to wipe away Omni Nation in the start of game 1.
Yeah, so far this has just been a manhandling of Omni Nation, and Karma keeps this ball in the offensive half. Looking for a demo as well. Omni Nation just has not been able to get any offense started, and we haven't seen any crazy passing plays, any crazy offense coming out from Charlotte Phoenix. It's just been capitalizing on mistakes that have been put on the field from Omni Nation.
And we said that this is going to be the biggest challenge. The only criticism we really have about Charlotte Phoenix is their ability to execute and to close the deal when they're called upon, right? I mean, in all 4 of their games, or their series, I should say, they've gone the distance. They just have yet to find a way to close the deal. They haven't been able to close out games, and that's why they sit at 2-2, but they read defenses perfectly. And Omni Nation has to throw a couple of different looks if they want to be able to steal this series, even though they come in as probably favorites. But once again, Charlotte Phoenix take the ball away in transition, and they do it so well, and that sets up so many plays with Turo on board. And Shadow's going to control this one, a demo from Percy, and Shadow by himself takes it over 2 defenders, carries it through midfield, and makes it a 4-0 game.
Beautiful touch there, and then that touch to get it over Magic Bear. Good heads-up play from Shadow to recognize the defender's low on boost. He just has to get another touch on it to put it towards net, and Shadow gets a hat trick here in game number 1. Charlotte Phoenix looking like a team that can't be slowed down right now.
Karma continues to intercept these passes, and she sets it up for teammates. And when your teammates are individually just making slight work of the defense, there's no problem there. This will continue. A great hit. I think that was Shadow on the other side. Yep, it's Turo passes up 1. Another will get knocked away back to the corner. Karma should have an easy time reeling this one in. Oh, a great bump. Actually takes her out of the equation, but they weren't able to follow up. And I don't think, if I'm mistaken, Subi, please let me know, but I don't believe that Omni Nation has more than maybe 2 shots on net.
I mean, technically they do, but like
2
real
good,
shots?
realistic shots. Yeah.
No, they don't have 2 good realistic shots. They have 4 on the board, but any that you can chalk up to anything dangerous to make Charlotte Phoenix flinch? Nah, nothing.
This could be an opportunity. No, Shadow denies it. You would hate to go out of game 1 without a goal, but it's going to be a 4-0 lead unless something magical happens. Not today. That should be spiked down. Karma will have easy time carrying this.
Ooh.
And a great, oh my god. Style points, pat the stats, you earned it.
I mean, look at the way that she goes up, sees the defender going back, so, hey, I'm going to just catch this, pop it up, and make a Magic Bear look silly. Good ball control there from Karma, and great game from Charlotte Phoenix. They easily take game number 1 on the coattails of Shadow with that hat trick.
Okay, now we're moving to game 2. Still, Jordan wasn't really that involved. We're going to check to see if he's feeling okay. Do you think now, looking at how game 1 went, oh, well, he says he's okay, but you got to wonder, do you think Creed is an option?
He is an option, but Jordan, he's at the top of the scoreboard right now. It's hard to say because this team, yeah, they played week 1 without Percy, I believe it was. Could be mistaken.
Magic Bear.
It was Magic Bear. Okay, thank you. They played with Creams, and now that they've kind of got the ball rolling, they don't want to disrupt this roster anymore. They want to stick with this and keep it going because they have the synergy, they have the flow, and they know what each other are going to do. And that's huge in Rocket League because you can get trust in your teammates, and you know that your teammates are going to trust you. So you can start inching forward. You can start looking for those passes out of midfield. You know what each other are going to do. So that's a hard one. Like, yeah, do I think it might be a better option? Maybe, but right now, Jordan's saying he's good. Let's keep going. And I love the confidence from the young fella, but you got to know when to throw in the white towel.
If we go to game 3 and Charlotte's running away 2-0, I think, again, I'm not in the comms. I don't know, but just from an outside perspective, from you and I have been commentating long enough. We've been watching players for almost a decade. I think at that point, you call in creams. I mean, you're down 2-0.
I don't know if you
got nothing to
can.
lose.
I need to look at the rule book again because I'm not sure if you can, unless it's something like a player's PC crashes or something. I don't know if you can just make sub changes on the fly like that. And I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna just say, "Hey, Stacks," and he'll listen. He'll look it up for us. Yeah, he's
Stacks
the
probably
Rocket League encyclopedia.
Well, let's see if they're able to at least make it work out, right? We would love to. Again, we want to see every series go the distance. That's what it's the best for the scene. That's the best for these games. And it makes everyone happy at the end. But we'll see what they're able to do. Magic Bear with a great pinch off the side of the wall, but Percy wasn't in a good position. We're going to make sure we get an answer from Stacks, but for now, still control 1 by Omni Nation, as they now have an opportunity to clear out their side. And Jordan will carry a good flick over from him, but Magic Bear not going to get a pass forward, no problem. It's going to go off the ceiling. He should have a good time handling this, and he will. Gets it over one player. Turanturo does come in and win the challenge. And again, Charlotte Phoenix intercepting these passes in midfield and setting up opportunities is what's kept them in the middle of the pack in this season.
Yeah, much better from Omni Nation here, but you see the double commit. This could be dangerous off the crossbar. Karma almost got the nasty angle, but Omni Nation come out unscathed, and here they come on offense by 1, but a good challenge there from Shadow to keep this ball alive in the orange half.
What I've noticed from Charlotte off the starts, they're winning a lot of these in-traffic challenges, Subi. Like, they're, great pinch, but they're getting themselves in front of the ball, they're reading the drops, and they're able to win that challenge, and that just sets up man advantages playing back into the box. And when Turanturo can fly freely and Shadow can come over the top like this, I mean, it spells bad things for Omni Nation.
It does, and I just saw something that I don't really like from Omni Nation, and I saw Magic Bear go all the way to the blue half to get one of the big boost pads, leaving his 2 teammates in peril. And thankfully, they didn't get scored on, but I can guarantee you if they keep doing that and putting their teammates in 2v3 situations, they absolutely will get punished for that.
And once again, another opportunity is staved away. Great defense, but even better shot and an even better save from Jordan. Really like to see that, especially with how things might be going on his end, but you have to think one of these days this shot's going to land. Karma off the back wall, and a follow-up from Shadow, and a great save from Percy off the other way as Karma will intercept it. But unfortunately for them, Jordan will be there. Magic Bear again. Karma with another great save, and another.
Percy and Jordan, man.
Just, wow.
Comedy of airs, and Magic Bear can't find the tough angle far upper 90. Percy's going to have to rotate out. That ball's towards net, but Magic Bear pulls that one in and pushes into Charlotte Phoenix's zone. And this is kind of what we were talking about pre-match, and FDOT brought it up. What does a team need to do to make RLCS? And my answer was being able to do mid-series changes on the fly. And right now, we're seeing it from Omni Nation. They have brought it to Charlotte Phoenix here, and
great
don't
flick.
make me eat my own words. Oh, Karma can't get the flick. Omni Nation taking their lucky stars on that one.
It was a great flick, but remember, I mean, Omni Nation is rookies, man. These guys are new to the scene. Maybe not new in the community's eyes or new in the tournaments, but they are rookies in Rivals. So the ceiling is high for them. Their future is bright. They've made an incredible run at 4-1 this far. Of course, they're looking to extend that, but just you have to give props where props are due, and they're playing Charlotte incredibly well right now, with all of the slights that may or may not be. That's going to go back into the corner. Turanturo will grab it, and he will continue it. Jordan gets the last hit. It's going to go off the back wall. No one to follow. One was, and Jordan has to fly back on defense. So
that last
numbers
back
advantage.
pass we saw about 10 seconds ago was beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that to keep pressure up because he didn't have a shooting angle available. So his teammate called out that he was open, but hold the phone. Karma 1v1 gets the pop, but Percy saw it coming, and Karma was looking for that air bump, but it didn't come through. Dangerous waterfall, and Jordan gets the clear. 10 seconds to go here. Game number 2.
Well, it's passed up to Turanturo. Let's see if he passes it any other way. Shadow with a hit. That should be saved away, no problem. Here comes a follow-up, a miss from Turanturo, uncharacteristic, but another one. Oh my god. Karma just put a dagger in their heart.
Well, check it out. Look at Percy and Jordan. That is what low boost looks like from two players, both sitting at 12. Neither one could push forward to challenge it, but neither one wanted to back up into net because they knew they wouldn't be able to get out in time. And just what a shot from Karma. Good recognition there, and ends the game with 0 seconds on the clock.
Oh man. Again, this team, we talk about Karma's accuracy a lot and her placement along, whether, she had that phenomenal goal on the sidewall in week 2, but you talk about her accuracy and her ability to maintain presence in the play, right? Staying in the right position, reading these passes. I mean, coming down to the wire, again, this was a team that we had talked about their inability to close the deal, to finish the plays, to find success. Finally, they close the deal, they steal game 2, and now we're looking at a situation where Omni Nation, I mean, if I'm in those comms, I am clearly wanting to extend this series, no doubt, but I am frustrated, man. Like, we had this game, at least sent it to overtime, and you just gave it up. A lack of boost in the net. Jordan with 2 saves, but man, it's hard.
I mean, you also have to look at the shots. I mean, Charlotte Phoenix, again, like doubled the shots coming out from Omni Nation there.
Yeah.
And while Omni Nation looked strong and they held strong for 4 minutes, 59 seconds, and 99 nanoseconds, or whatever you want to break it down to, you fell apart at the last second, and you have to play perfect Rocket League for 5 whole minutes if you want to win the game, especially against a team like Charlotte Phoenix. They don't allow a lot of shots on net, and they do. I mean, surprisingly, they're the number 1 team in the league for saves, as far as like lowest amount of saves. Whether you want to view that as a good thing or a bad thing, they just don't allow teams to bring a lot of offense into their zone. They just get scored on because of like mistakes. They allow booming clears over their head.
No, that's exactly right. They're a very good box and goal line team. Like, they don't give up much. So when you have to take the opportunities where you can, the biggest problem with them, of course, has just been allowing like booming clears for hits, as well as finishing the deal. But here comes a nice shot from Karma. Jordan saves it away, and Karma off the ceiling could set it up for Shadow. And Shadow's going to take it to the corner. Karma had no boost. I think they both knew that. And now they're going to follow this one back to the other side.
And that's plays. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, buddy.
No.
Karma,
Let's
go
just.
ahead.
Hey, Karma, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Karma. You got it. Tell us what you wanted to say. But I was gonna say, in game 2, it was almost like a facade, right? We didn't see a lot of Omni Nation. They played great, but it was all defense, nothing to their fault. And we haven't seen a lot of offense from them because of how well that Charlotte Phoenix is playing some of these challenges. Now comes the situation of, okay, we've relied on our defense for 2 games. What do you have to show us? And off the start, Karma gets a goal. And again, their backs are against the wall in the game 3.
And we saw possibly what could be a chink in the armor for Charlotte Phoenix. And it's plays like this, transition plays, it's an open net. Can Jordan do anything? No, a soft shot. Karma's there for the save. But that is what Omni Nation need to do. They need to transition quickly from defense to offense. That's where they can be successful. What a beautiful play from Percy, but Magic Bear wasn't ready. And this is dangerous. That shot almost there off the crossbar. And a good demo, but Percy leaves the pressure.
It's incredible how quick Charlotte Phoenix is. What a great bump out. Pass to Shadow. Can he finish? Yes. A phenomenal bump from Karma sets up that whole play. It clears a player out, or a bump from Shadow, excuse me, and he follows it in. Subi, just beautiful.
What is that shot?
Oh my God.
He's rolling and he's upside down to get underneath the ball. I mean, if you want to turn your car into a pitching wedge, that's how you do it.
The thing I was trying to say before that whole play happened was, it's amazing how quick Charlotte Phoenix are at transitioning on offense, right? Like getting to the ball and making a shot land. Like, they're one of the fastest teams in the league at it. Again, Shadow with a carry. An unfortunate bump. That's another goal. Subi, what is happening?
A dismantling of a team. We're seeing it live unfold right before our very eyes. And Karma must have been watching because she is making me look silly right now. And she's doing it on purpose.
Well, right now is do or die time. If they get one more goal, you're probably looking at the end of a series. I hate to be gloomy. I hate to be gloomy, but at like 4-0 with just the way it's been going, the momentum or lack thereof for Omni Nation.
Even a 3-0, like this is still pretty gloomy looking for Omni Nation.
I'm trying to read the tea leaves, and the tea leaves are telling me that that's a great block and a great save from Shadow. And they're telling me, man, that all of the momentum and the pendulum is completely in Charlotte Phoenix's corner, and there's no chance that they're going to let this lead slip.
I am going to go ahead and agree with you, even though my prediction said otherwise. I am being made a fool once again, but, you know, I had faith in Omni Nation. I liked what they've been doing so far in the season, but, you know, we talked about it during the break that we had. Is it better for a team to kind of start off against the hardest teams in the league and then coast downhill, or is it better to kind of warm up and then see how you do against the juggernauts? And I think we're getting the answer. While, you know, Charlotte Phoenix is 2-2, they're looking better right now than a 4-1 team.
Yeah. I think that at this point there is a very big positive to take away from Omni Nation, in which is starting the season off this hot is great because it tells you what your success is, it tells you what works, and it's continued to work, so don't abide from that. But it also tells you is when you get a loss like this that's so glaring, and some of the issues in terms of transitional defense that Charlotte Phoenix has had, and transitional offense for Omni Nation, and finding ways to not stack box, these big issues that are very clear, you can go in VOD, you can watch back and change, and you can find a way to correct it because your lead in the league allows you to do so. They're about to fall to 4-2. Is it great? No, but it's still 4-2. Everything that's worked for them up until this point has continued to work, not so much in this series, but the mistakes are big enough and visible enough to where they don't have to wonder what they did wrong. It's very clear, and they have an opportunity to fix it with still a good enough record to stay possibly top 3.
And Karma has 100% goal participation this match. She had a goal, assist, goal, assist. So, I mean, you could call her Lady Gaga, if you will, but she has stepped up so big for her team, getting involved every single game, hitting the last second. You love me. You don't have to lie.
I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out, but props to you for coming up with that on the fly. Another goal, a hat trick for Shadow. Oh, stupid.
Oh, man. But, yeah, hat trick for Shadow. This team right now can do no wrong. I have always been a fan of Karma. I've always been a fan of Charlotte Phoenix, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be biased when I'm casting them. Obviously, I'm picked against them. Been a fan of Jimmer. You know, he does great work as a coach, and you can tell that this team has worked together to figure out the roles and figure out where these players work. And I'll tell you what, I'm so shocked that Turinturo has kind of taken a back seat, and I hope he doesn't take that the wrong way, because he's playing how his team needs him to. And last season, his team needed him to be the MVP. His team needed him to be the 1v1 player, the scorer. And this season is a different story. You know, Turinturo, 10 goals, 6 assists on the season. Like, he's there for sure on offense, but where he's most important is midfield and defense.
You know, it's a lot like Greasy Meister with Breezy and Ixo, right? Like, if Ixo and Breezy are doing everything, Greasy has a lot less pressure. Turinturo's kind of the same way. Like, we know he can carry this team, but when Karma's showing up and she's doing good, and Shadow is creating plays for Karma, and like, it's just when they're working together, and Turinturo can sit back and be like, hey, you kids have fun. I'm going to be here if you need me. First of all, it's phenomenal. Again, hats off for the 3-0 sweep over Omni Nation to Charlotte Phoenix. But again, I think that this is what we were discussing earlier, was we're surprised that Charlotte Phoenix is 2-2, now 3-2, because of what you just saw. Like, they have an ability to dismantle teams and score at you at will. We were waiting to see it. We were waiting to see them close the deal and finish the fight. And they did it in game 2. Of course, the last second goal was amazing, but it's stuff like that that could separate them from their old stigmas and push them towards a top 1 or 2 or 3 team.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we just got to see the Charlotte Phoenix inch a little closer into the top 3 and Omni Nation fall a little bit there. The big question is, can Warriors International do the same? Can they try and climb their way into that top 6 and solidify their spot? Or will 72 PC bring them down a notch to keep this league so close? Big question is in the air. I don't have the answer, but we're going to find out right after this break.
You said you're cool and that it's alright, but you're hiding something that don't feel right. You know life is better when we just talk. When we just talk, let's talk. Baby, I'm not part of
Welcome back, folks. 3 up and 3 down. Just like that. Karma and Charlotte Phoenix take it to it. And Omni Nation sits down. A little bit rough. Subi and Spaceman, my experts of the moment. Subi, talk to me about what happened here. I mean, a lot of people going for Omni Nation, but not the greatest.
I don't want to talk to you about it. I need some
Make him
time.
feel bad.
That
He's
one
an
hurts.
idiot. Make him feel bad.
No, I mean, no pun intended. That's karma, right, for picking against her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, that's one where, like, I'm going to have to watch the tape because I don't know why Omni Nation couldn't get any offense started. It just didn't work
barely
for
got
them.
the ball out of their own half.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
Yeah, it was tough. They were constantly on defense. You heard Spaceman start to talk about it. They barely could get out of their own side of the pitch.
Yeah, and they lost challenges everywhere.
Yeah,
A little bit
just
rough there for Omni Nation.
outclassed for
Yeah, just-
sure. Charlotte Phoenix was just, I think we talked about it, like the passing plays is what separates Charlotte Phoenix from a lot of teams. And they exposed a lot of weaknesses that Omni Nation had because of those passing plays.
Well, it worked out for Charlotte Phoenix. They're now positive 3-2. Omni Nation fall to 4-2. Moving on to match number 2, we've got Warriors International and 72 Pin Connector. These two teams going head to head should be interesting. Thunder Buddy and Jay Wismont representing Warriors International, and Jacob, Democat, and Lion Blaze across the way. Subi, what do you think is in store for Jacob, Lion Blaze, and Demo today?
Well, I think this is a great opportunity for them to go to 2-3. If there's ever been an opportunity to do so, I mean, this is one of the teams that they're playing that I guess you could put at the bottom side of the lineup for the rival series. But we saw them last week. They did get, a great 3-0 win, but they played the worst team in the league. Like, RBG hasn't shown much of anything. So I'm still not completely sold on 72 PC. But if they can continue to get plays out of Demo and Jacob, I think they're going to be doing pretty good in this matchup.
I feel similarly, but Spaceman, let's hear from you first.
I feel I'm worried about 72 PC because I loved what I saw last week, and they fixed some of the issues, which were physicality. This team is not physical on the field, but Jacob fixed that. He was finding demos, creating bumps, and he really stole the show last week. Lion Blaze is a complete X factor. We all know about that. Third man down, always going to be that guy. I am looking at this where 72 PC, if they can remain physical, if they can find a way to disrupt patterns that Warriors International throws at them, they can easily take this series. It was the biggest question with 72 PC was how physical will you play? Because everything was there other than Jacob waking up finally, and they finally figured it out against the worst team, sure, but it's still figured out, and maybe they can carry that.
Well, the table is set. Prediction time now. Subi, you seemed to lean on the side of Warriors International. Is that where your prediction goes?
I think you got that one right on the head there, pal. I think I am absolutely going to go out to Warriors International because I think this team is gonna listen to the call, and they hear it. It's in the distance, and it's shouting, "Warriors, come out and play!"
Yes, I'm sure they are. Yes. Spaceman. Shout out to the two people in chat. Oh, as old as me and Subi to get that reference.
I know, right?
Spaceman's not one of them, by the way. Spaceman, you're up.
I look at Warriors International, and I think Thunder has to have another big week. He had a big week last week, but they did drop that. I look at 72 PC, and I say if Jacob has the same physicality that he had, he could even get one goal in this series. As long as he's physical and he's involved, that opens the door for Lion Blaze and Demo. I'm taking 72 PC because I liked what I saw from them last week. I think they can continue that here.
Awesome. Nice. Subi going one direction, Spaceman going the other. I am going the direction of 72 Pin Connector, but in all honesty, this one is tough. This one is tough, and I went 72 because I had to pick a team. And I think when you have veteran leadership like Jacob on the squad, combined with the catalyst that we saw, even though it was just RBG, it can be a catalyst and pick a team up. and the way Lion Blaze had been playing. I think these are all variables that tilt me slightly in the direction of 72 PC. But at the end of the day, I think this one is entirely close to call. I mean, Warriors International, 72 PC. It's tight. It's fun. It's exciting. It's happening now.
Listen, Subi, I really like the point that F. Dot just made about some of those catalysts that come out.
Okay?
I do. You know what?
Both you guys are teaming up on me today.
Listen,
what the heck?
He's a scholar. Hey, it's not my fault. Your predictions are wrong, but hey, I was wrong in Europe, so it all works out. But here's what I wanted to say is I like that he talked about catalysts, right? Because you look at 72 PC, and yes, they beat RBG last week. Yes, they had fixed some mistakes, but isn't that where you want to correct your mistakes and see if it actually works against a team like RBG, where if it doesn't work, you just fall back to what you've been trying to do all season, but it worked. Jacob's been physical. Again, I'm not saying he's going to come out and do it, but I have to look at them and think, okay, maybe Jacob did wake up a bit, and all of a sudden this team can turn things around.
I would say that, like, okay, it's a good start. It's kind of like you're trying to get up high, so you step on the first rung of a ladder. And now this could be like the second rung. Like, this isn't the best team in the league that they're facing, Warriors International, but they are a good team, and they are going to have to come out and play better than they did last week if they want to take this one, because Warriors International aren't just going to lay down and take. And here comes Buddy. Great shot, but a good save from Jacob. And Buddy kept his flip, able to get the touch. That was very tricky, very cheeky, but didn't resort to much. But they do continue with this pressure. And good cut there from Lion Blaze, the MVP for 72 PC in your eyes.
Now, Subi, when you're looking at a team like Warriors International, again, this is a question I've asked you before. I've asked you 1,000 times. What is it that they have to isolate? Whether Jacob's a factor or not, it remains to be seen. But is it Lion Blaze? You take him out. Do you think that 72 PC crumbles under pressure like that?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think Lion Blaze is a crucial part of this puzzle. I think he is the oil, and Jacob and Demo are the gears. And without him, they're not going to work together, not as well, for sure. Their shooting accuracy hasn't been great. Both of them are sitting around 13%, and I'm talking about Jacob and Demo. They're not hitting shots that they need to hit. And we saw them last week. That changed, but they weren't facing a good defense. And that's what I want to see this week. They did have a beautiful play that we just saw, Demo to open the net. That's great to see from them. And if they can continue to do that, I think I'm going to be made to look like a fool once again with my prediction.
I think Lion Blaze kind of fills in that Turo spot on this team that, you know, that kind of factor we could talk about for years. Thunder with a great hit, a follow-up Buddy, but Lion Blaze basically took on two defenders in the box and said, get out of my way, and knocks it to the other side. He follows it in transition by himself, but the dude does it all, right? He creates opportunities, he finds a way to get shots on net, and he gets big bumps that allow for everyone else to follow in. A great hit from Thunder. He's got to be the guy to step up. Had a big week last week, and he comes in and ties this game up.
Thunder with his 8th of the season, and you see Demo there rolling left. He had a 50-50 chance of getting that one right, and he chose incorrectly. And just like that, game number 1 is all tied up. Good offense coming out from Warriors International as they broke down the defense of 72 PC.
Well, Jay Westmont's on the front line. One player missed. No worries. Lion Blaze is in net. Back to midfield. Thunder has to fall back. Lion Blaze with another bump, but wow, Buddy will come over and grab that. And back to midfield we go. Drops down precariously. Jacob couldn't get a handle on it, but it's going to be Demo in the back line. That's going to go off the back wall, no problem. And it's handled by Warriors International. Warriors International had a great offensive...
Oh, mama.
Never mind. I'll finish that thought later. Thunder with a great read.
I mean, he caught this so soft. It's like an egg catch, and then just rolls that beautifully into the net. Way to read the defense, see the opening. Thunder gets his second one here in game number 1.
I was going to say last week, never mind. Thunder with a save, but Warriors International played Chaos Esports, and while they did drop that series, their offense was great. They couldn't meet the same amount of production that Chaos had. That's kind of been their struggle suit so far. They haven't been able to meet the same production as other teams in these games. Of course, that leads to their current lead, but still, you have to think that they're going to figure that out at some point. It's just a race to who finishes first and who finds that personality quicker.
Yeah,
As
and
Lion
then they
Boys will
also
fly
played.
back to
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man.
I am so sorry, but what I'm
You have
surprised
something good to
is
say. Tell me.
I never have anything good to say. Oh, sorry, saw that one coming. Held my breath. I love plays like that. So fun and exciting. But Warriors International, they did take Chaos to 5 games. Not an easy thing to do. But then, which I'm kind of surprised you didn't bring up to kind of counter my argument, is Warriors then played on the B stream. And shout out to Rival Esports for the fantastic job that they've been doing putting on that production. It's so fun to watch and keep up to date with. But they did beat RBG, but they dropped a game for them.
Well, you know what? And honestly, it's just been the one factor I was looking for 72, I found last week, and that was kind of taking my focus. Was okay. The one thing I've harped on them about, whether or not rotations are a problem, yes, but the lack of physicality had been an issue for 5 weeks. All of a sudden they fixed it, and I'm looking at them like, okay, now we can have a real discussion about this team. That's where my headspace was. But you're 100% right. I mean, I feel like we still have to give credit to RBG in that respect. Yes, they're 0-5, but they're still in Rivals for a reason, of course.
No, for sure. Yeah, you can't just discredit them, and you've got to respect them week in and week out.
Yeah.
But honestly, what's impressive is the fact that you say, okay, I want to see more physicality. And what led to the first goal of this game? Physicality. From 72 PC, the demo. And where has that been ever since?
Quiet. Again, it's been a good transition from thunder. I don't know what noise just came out of my body, but if you make me do that, it's good enough. Thunder just wow.
What?
How? Okay.
I don't know. That's one way to get a hat trick, though. That is
like
some crazy mechanics. Gets under the ball, somehow gets the tight angle. That was some of beauty.
That was physically gross. Another shot, sure. Why not, buddy? 4-1. Warriors International, doing what they do best, scoring, keeping teams at a distance. And the lack of physicality in the second half of this game is really what's kept 72 PC out of the tally mark. They've only had 1 goal in the first opening 30 seconds, and since then, nothing.
Yeah, and I'm just going to continue to kind of echo what you were saying, is the physicality. And whether it's demos or just bumps or even just pure aggression, making the defense kind of second guess where you are and if you're coming up from behind them, that's what they need. Because right now they're playing Gentleman Rocket League. They still have the white gloves on. They're trying to keep things nice and clean when they just need to come out and slap Warriors in the face, honestly.
What did I say? Thunder has to have a big week like he did last week. 3 goals, 2 saves, 3 for 4, man. He shot 75%. That's all you got to do. That's literally all you have to do is just take great quality shots. He had a phenomenal carry, and Buddy can follow it in with just an icing on the cake. On the other side, Lion Blaze gets a goal. Standard 72 PC. Jacob, demo, relatively quiet. Yeah, you have an assist, 2 saves, but this was kind of the thing about 72 that we didn't see in weeks 1, 2, and 3 when we were picking them, was the same thing we've seen here. Lack of physicality, and the issue being you don't have that much offense to counter that. So you're doing more work to create shots than other teams, and that's really the only way you've been winning. They didn't show that here.
Yeah, no, it's hard, man. And that's why I picked against them, is just because there's no consistency behind this team. Not yet, at least. And they need to figure it out soon, because right now they're sitting at 1-3 and there's not a lot of season left. We're basically at the halfway point. Yeah. So now's the time to fix things.
If you're sitting at 1-4 after this series, you're looking at RBG, which is 0-5. You're looking at Baguette Squad, which is, I believe, 0-6. The season is essentially wrapped. I don't think the middle of the pack, especially with teams like Charlotte, Phoenix of all people, are going to let that gap slide any further. And the top is solidified between Stromboli and Omni Nation. It's going to be very difficult to find your way through that crowd, let alone even try to knock on the door. So their biggest issue has just been executing. It's one thing we harped on with Charlotte Phoenix. It's one thing we've harped on with 72. It's executing on plays. Two very different sides of the coin, but they share the same type of metal. And now we're looking at a situation where your backs are against the wall and it's only game 2.
Good pressure there from Jacob, but no follow-up, and this one's going to get turned over. No, good touch from Demo, and Jacob's up looking for the back pass, but good sniff from Jay Wiz to get that pass out of the box and just give his team some time to work with.
And if I'm Warriors International, I'm letting 72 get kind of comfortable here, continue to put some shots down, block them away, and kind of burn them out in transition, right? You want to get them a little bit tired in your half, and then when you fly back, you can just pick them apart and create holes in that offense. And that's kind of what's been happening. You can see them now flying back as Buddy and Thunder will control it. A booming clear into the corner, and Buddy's going to follow in. He wins the challenge, going to come down for Jay Wismont, who should get it through. Goodbye, 3 defenders. You look dumb in the box. And again, Warriors International just finding holes.
I love this decision on the shot to go with the bouncer. You see Jacob and Lion Blaze so hard to defend those bounce shots, not expecting it. They pre-jump it in unison, and great placement on that ball. And just like that, Warriors International up by 1. And so far, outside of the first 30 seconds, 72 PC haven't found any offense.
It's almost like watching a point guard figure out their rhythm, like shoot their way out of a slump, as 72 PC is trying to basically shoot their way out of this hole that they've created. But Warriors International is letting them get tired, and like we just saw, I mean, Jay Wismont was a perfect read down, and you had 2 players, possibly 3 commit. Up for Thunder,
Not a
good
big
pass
hole
forward.
just yet.
It's not, but it doesn't. When we're talking about momentum and swinging it, that's probably the worst case scenario is a goal like that, where you just get read out in the open, and now you're in a situation where you're trying to tie the game up, and not only that, but capture momentum because there has been no physicality.
Right. I get what you're saying.
We'll start on the corner, no problem. Jay Wismont wins the challenge. Now Buddy will follow through, extends it all the way to the back wall. Lion Blaze does get a touch to the adjacent side. Thunder will carry. Good carry from him. Jay Wismont with a redirect. Good save from Jacob. But again, they have to find a way to get out of their half. That might have been a good pinch, or I should say a bad pinch, but a good case scenario for 72 PC. But back the other way we go.
Yeah, that pinch actually went off of Buddy. I don't think he was meaning to get that much momentum behind the ball. But it worked out in their favor as they're now on offense. And again, 72 PC trying to break out of their zone. Let's see if Lion Blaze can do anything with this, as Buddy smartly puts it to the corner where Jay Wismont was sitting, waiting. And look at the midfield passing from Warriors International right now. Tons of ball control in midfield.
I've noticed some one-on-ones in terms of just carrying it towards the box, but Asubi, is there anything that's standing out for you about how 72 is playing their offensive pushes? Do you think that they've been missing commits, or do you think they're playing it fine?
Well, let's see as the bump comes out and the physicality leads to a tie game.
Great flick. Top shelf. Over Thunder. Tie game.
You know, just do more of that.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes, man. What'd you say earlier? Don't overthink it, have fun?
I mean, that's my motto to Rocket League. Just don't overthink it. I mean, it works for me because I know when I'm trying to overthink things, I play like straight garbage. So you have to think because you're playing at like almost the top level.
Oh,
what a redirect from Demo. I mean, Lion Blaze secures it, but this touch from Demo is out of this world.
Just a great read all around. It's like watching a punt returner just fly back on the ball and just set it up out of the end zone for someone to spike down. It was perfect. Obscure references, sure. Did it work in my head? Absolutely. And off the start, you lose the challenge, you lose the face-off. Okay, tie game, Buddy. Says, you're not going to play off the ball. That's fine. I'll take it myself.
Wow. Coming off the line like Usain Bolt there, just super fast. And you saw the cheat up from 72 PC. That's the danger if you send one cheating up that aggressively. And Jacob learned his lesson on that one. You saw him kind of sit at that midfield boost pad waiting to go to midfield. But again, looks like Warriors International going to maintain pressure here, pass off the side wall, but good read there from Demo.
The backflip will actually give way to Lion Blaze, who could carry. Never mind. Thunder will control it. Demo, that's going to go off the back. Forward. Jay Wismon handles it. Pin Jacob the other way. Great follow-up, but not the accuracy they were looking for. And once again, they stall out in their base.
And we've worked with 72 PC, I think this is our third time now.
Yeah.
And we constantly bring up the accuracy. Great save from Jacob there. That's a tough one to get. But that's been our main issue, is the accuracy. The shots are there. The net is open. And
yeah,
I mean, is it wide open? No, but it's rival series open. It's going to be a tough shot, but you got to hit it. And that's what this team has been unable to do. And that's what they need to work on to find success week in and week out.
Yep, and the accuracy or the physicality wouldn't be as big of an issue if they had the accuracy to match it. But that's going to go off the back wall.
Danger.
Waterfall down, so dangerous, but a good save from Demo keeps this overtime alive. And now 72 PC have a fighting chance. This one's going to fly back, but no boost. Lion Blaze grabs it, has all of it to work with. Oh my god, over one, he's got it. That's got to be a goal. It will be. Lion Blaze, are you kidding me?
Hat trick to end overtime, and somehow, some way, continues to boost through that ball and punch it under the crossbar. And just like that, we have a tie series.
Lion Blaze once again bails the team out when they need him, and again, 3 goals, I should say, on 7 shots. It just, like, again, the physicality would be less of an issue if they were able to find that accuracy, but it's either one or the other. There's an inverse relationship there, right? Like, accuracy is really high, you don't have to play that physical because you're hitting all your shots. Accuracy is really low, you need to play more physical because open nets are good for everyone involved. This is a situation where Lion Blaze bails him out again, but looking at a series tied 1-1, it's not like all of a sudden momentum has swung. This was still a pretty rough showing from 72 PC. The Warriors International have to be able to close a little bit better on some of those transitions like they just had in overtime.
Yeah, it was still a little rough for 72 PC, but I think they kind of shined the light a little bit on what they need to do to come out successful against a team like Warriors International. And Warriors International, they're going to put a ton of shots on the board. They're going to put shot after shot after shot after shot. They have the second highest shots per game in North America, right under Stromboli. And right now they're averaging over 9 a game as a team. So you know that they're going to come out and just put shots on. But it's all about weathering the storm. And that's what 72 PC was able to do in this match. They were able to weather the storm and then quickly transition to offense and use the man advantage. They're looking at 2v1 scenarios, 3v2 scenarios, and you need to score right then and there to be successful. You can't try and work your offense for a minute straight. You need to try and counter this Warriors International team quickly to find success.
And the great thing is that Lion Blaze, he had 7 shots, but goal 1 to Buddy. I'll see you on the left side of the net. Net was completely open. I think Lion Blaze tried to read it, but just missed. Oh, he got bumped. He got bumped by Thunder.
Bumped, yeah.
Well, hats off to them. Who's going to do it? I'm going to do it. What I was going to say was I think that Lion Blaze has 7 shots. That's great, but everyone else had 1, 2. Like, there's basically one-sided production, and that's the biggest issue with this team is that you have talent everywhere. You need more than just him to get involved.
Right, yeah. Lion Blaze had 7 shots, and Omni Nation. Warriors International, had, I believe, 8 as a whole team. Oh, what a chip from Jacob. Way to use the close post to his advantage.
Nothing more I can say about that, man. I just want to let you guys watch it. Just enjoy it. It's good. Well done. Tied 1-1. Challenge won by 72 PC. Lion Blaze to the corner. Thunder to the other side. He's going to hit it back to midfield before Jacob intercepts and wins it. No pinch, no problem. Easy clear for Lion Blaze as that ball's going to go again to the other side. Jacob did not pinch off the side, but still in control. I don't think Demo had boost, so he couldn't follow into the ball. But a good hit from Jacob sets up something. A chance, yes, but knocked away again at the last second. That's a dangerous hanging one as Jay Wismont will control it and reel it in. And once again, Thunder has to clear it out and send it back to midfield. But all of a sudden, 72 PC are putting on quite a push into this half.
I like seeing this from them. I love the aggression, and the aggression led to this turnover right here, but I say stick with it. Keep putting the shots on. Keep the pressure at full bore. It's just good to see from this team.
One of these days, it's going to land. That's going to go off the backboard. Demo should be able to handle this, no problem. He does. Good challenge from Buddy. Sends it to the adjacent side, and Lion Blaze will carry. And he will dribble.
See ya!
Oh, great demo from one. Oh, no, just not able to close the deal.
Right idea, though. That was something you don't want to see as a defender. The ball in the air and the person coming straight for you.
Yeah, that's one of those, like, oh, okay, like moments when you're trying to fall back on defense. Like, oh, this just got 10 times worse. And another challenge win from Warriors International. That's what really... Woo! Great shot, Buddy. I was going to say, that's what kept them ahead in game one, was winning the challenge. A wonderful hit from Jay Wismont to set it up for Buddy, who gets a lucky bounce, nonetheless, a great shot.
Yeah, that's just a perfect setup from Jay Wismont. And it looks like it's an easy touch, but there are so many times where you think that you're going to set your teammate up perfectly. You hit it a little too hard or a little too far behind him. Jay Wismont hit him on a dime, and Buddy just rifled it on target, and the defenders couldn't react fast enough.
Good demo. Leads way to an opportunity. That's going to go over Thunder. Now they have to fall back. That's best case actually scenario for Warriors, is that miss will lead to now an attack, but Lion Blaze gets a touch away.
Yeah, they lucked out there. The Lion Blaze was able to get there. Buddy was keeping pressure with 0 tank in the boost, and I love to see that from players. You know, you have a lot in your arsenal that you don't need boost for. He was using the wave dashes to get his speed up to try and get forward, and that's good to see from these players, as Jay Wismont had to avoid the demo from Demo, and Buddy just leaves that one. That's a dangerous ball. Demo goes up. Good challenge. Jay Wismont all alone, and smartly collects that ball, and this is going to be numbers going down the field for Warriors International.
Here comes an opportunity. Oh, and a bad bounce. Thunder gets the better one of that. Can't really blame him for positioning. Possibly could have read it better, but it's just a great shot all around. It was going to go in either way. Demo had no chance. And like you said, well, one of the things you said, obviously, is just the lack of boost, but I think that kind of moves into a bigger point here, which is looking at even Jacob's first goal. Great win.
That's a goal.
Phenomenal win. What? No! Okay. All right. The point I'm trying to make is, regardless of that goal, a lot of soft touches, not a lot of power behind these shots from 72 PC. They've been lucky with some of their goals they've made, but I think that was the hardest hitting goal they've had all series.
Yeah, it was, and I can't believe that save Jay Wismont had. Came out of nowhere to keep that ball out of the net. And great pass from Jay Wismont. He has been finding Buddy and Thunder all over the field and making it so they don't have to change their trajectory at all. They can keep driving forward so they get the power on the hits.
Another great hit. And another great save as Jay Wismont levels it out. That should be taken away. And once again, I'm asking for some power behind this shot. Lion Blaze was going for it. A demo favors Warriors. A good challenge as Lion Blaze actually stalls out, and that allows Jacob to get back into play. So good job from 72, but we're looking at, again, 30 seconds to tie this game up. Another great challenge from Jacob, but Jay Wismont is there, no problem.
Yeah, that was a dangerous challenge from Jay Wismont. No one was back home, but they come out unscathed, and Buddy sees Jay Wismont sitting mid, but Lion Blaze almost cut that off. My, oh my, these plays are getting closer and closer to being mistakes from Warriors International. Good
Great
flick.
flick. But they follow it up. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Great flick from Lion Blaze and an even better touch from Jacob.
Jacob, hat trick here in game number 3 to keep 72 PC alive and well. 5 seconds to go until we go to overtime. A good demo in favor of 72 PC, and Jay Wismont just going to hit that one down as we go to the first overtime of the series.
We'll see how it works out. This is the second overtime. Of course, last game actually went the distance, and we saw 72 squeeze it out.
Why am I the way I am?
It's okay. It's okay. It happens to the best of us, Sumi. You're like me. But no matter, no problem. Jay Wismont did what Lion Blaze did last overtime. Jacob with a precarious touch, Buddy with a good center, and an even better hit from Jay Wismont. Great redirect off the pass. Warriors International steal game 3.
They absolutely did. There were a lot of mistakes on defense for Warriors International in the second overtime of the series. My apologies for making that simple mistake.
It's oh, you know what? Jacob had 3 goals, man. We didn't even talk about that. Jacob had a hat trick. How did we not notice?
Well, and again, oh, I said he had a hat trick.
How did I not notice?
I don't know. We aren't smart individuals. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, really.
But
it happened.
again, 7 shots from Lion Blaze. Again. I mean, he's getting his opportunities. He just can't find the target.
And Demo has been pretty quiet this whole series, man. Like 4 saves. He's played good defense, but 4 saves, 1 shot. I mean, I don't believe he's scored yet.
No
this
goals.
Series.
He had 2 assists in game number 2, but yeah, no goals so far this series. And I mean, Jacob woke up in game 3 there, but you got to wonder, like, can this team do anything when Lion Blaze isn't hitting his shots? Because Jacob did as much as he could, but still we're unable to find success. No! Who did it? It wasn't us. It wasn't us. We still come out unscathed. It was. I am going to call him out. I'm not letting it go. This game's going to go on, but no way. Strange is stranger. I think that was him.
Stranger?
No, that was observed. That wasn't strangers.
We'll give him the blame anyway.
Okay, that's fair. But it wasn't me or you, and that's what's important.
That's all that matters. At the end of the day, we didn't mess up. Stranger did. It's all his fault. It all works out. The Earth is fine. Buddy's hanging back in the goal, but good hit away. It was interesting to say the least. Funda, not a good enough read. Buddy, no problem. Demo, even better. Takes it away. And here comes Jay Wismont with very little boost, but a dream. And the ball that could doesn't connect. Jacob with a good defensive stop.
Demo, nice challenge midair there, and great pass from Lion Blaze, but Jacob way off target there, but he does get the bump, and Buddy able to avoid it. He's getting battered around there and repays the favor to Demo as this ball is boomed downfield to Buddy as he whiffs on that ball.
Comes a follow-up. Demo wins the challenge in traffic. Buddy with a very, very high challenge, but it doesn't do anything. Back to midfield. Funda should pass it up for Jay Wismont. It's going to go off the backboard. Red, yes. In position, no. Buddy gets a hit up, follows it down, and Jacob was waiting patiently for that as he gets sent the other way. And back and forth we go. It's just about who's going to hit first.
You know, we saw a lot of mistakes in game number 3, and neither team wanted to be the first, and that could have been an opportunity for Warriors, but just off his target is Jay Wismont. Those are hard ones all the way from your own box. Buddy misses on that. Jay Wismont with another hard shot, but a great save from Demo, and this is going all the way downfield between the sticks. 72 PC. Put one on the board.
Oh, breath of fresh air, man. Wide open net. Jacob was thinking about it. Lion Blaze would have probably been under his bed had he let him take that, but got to think all around. A good save from 72 as they find themselves on the board in game 4.
That's all it took was one mistake.
Another?
Warriors pushed up a little too far, and yeah, they're starting to get a little panicky. Need to settle things down. This is going to be an opportunity for Buddy, but that one gets away from him. Good touch from Jacob to put it into his own corner.
Seemed like Jacob didn't have enough power behind that hit. Which, again, is just another small thing to think about, but food for thought. As that one's going to get carried right to the other side. A good redirect, but Buddy saves it away. And Thunder just plays it off the backboard, no problem. Challenge won by Jay Wismont, follow-up won by Lion Blaze, and Lion Blaze by himself could not get a center to push it forward, and back the other way we go.
Yeah, you're not going to put many infield passes. Oh, Jay Wismont and Buddy. Jay Wismont was shooting it. Buddy was coming down from the ceiling, and this ball pinches in. Woo!
That's an alley-oop if I've ever seen one.
Yes, sir.
So, Subi, looking at kind of how this series has played out, yes, we've talked about physicality. Yes, we've talked about accuracy. But we haven't talked a whole lot about maybe Warriors International other than their offense. I mean, maybe there's not a whole lot to talk about. I could be mistaken, but are you seeing anything from them that we haven't seen weeks prior, or has it just kind of been normal day at the office?
It's feeling like a normal day at the office for Warriors International, and I think it all is on Jay Wismont right now. His passes have been perfect. His defense has been superb. Didn't want to bite my tongue there, and gets them out clean. And, you know, he's been disrupting passing plays. And what I was going to say before that pinch goal between him and Buddy was, you know, it's going to be hard to get infield passes past Jay Wiz. He's been on a team with Karma and Shadow. He's been on Charlotte Phoenix, the team known for those. So you're going to have to come out with something to throw him off his game. He's at midfield. He's expecting you to do that.
And, you know, hats off again to Thunder, who's stepped up in this series. Buddy, who's been in great tandem with Jay Wismont. Everyone's stepping up for Warriors, and I think this is what we were expecting from them, like start hitting their form where everyone steps up. Here's an opportunity. Can Lion Blaze fly back? Yes, but it's up to the ceiling. Buddy with a hit down. Oh my, who's going to get it? No! No one. It's going to be 72 PC who find a way to stay alive.
Getting scrappy in the box there. 72 PC know how important this game is, and Jay Wiz keeps that alive. Nice poke up. The Lion Blaze saw it from a mile away, and this is going to be dangerous. This is going to be an opportunity for 72 PC as they have numbers. Demo gets the feel of the boost there, and they maintain pressure, but Buddy, good pass to Jay Wiz. Jay Wiz up off the crossbar, and 25 seconds remain here. Both teams trying to keep this one out of overtime.
This one's going to drop. Buddy's going to handle it. 10 seconds. Good bump. What a great bump. Anyone going to follow up? No. Oh, this could be bad. This could be bad. Lion Blaze open net. Goodbye. 72 PC look like they're going to steal game 4 and force this the distance.
Oh, you see the blue trail. That's off of Thunder. He puts his head in his hands as he just gave game number 4 to 72 PC.
Subi, I think we're going the distance. I think that's the only way this series should go. We're gonna go there.
I agree.
And this is gonna be a game that's not obviously important. It's game 5, duh. But it's important for both teams. Can 72 PC close the deal? Can they finally finish games and get this stigma off their back? Can Warriors International find a way? Can Warriors International find a way to get rid of the perception that their defense has been relatively lackluster and players haven't stepped up in game 5? This is do or die, obviously for either teams, but I mean, you want to talk about a trendsetter for weeks to come and to really solidify your place, you have to win, whatever side you're on.
I mean, right now, the name of the game for Warriors International has to be, all right, how are we going to obviously stop 72 PC, but how are we going to stop Lion Blaze? Because he has been getting tons of shots. He got 6 this match, 7 in game 3, 7 in game 2. I mean, he's just been getting his opportunities. So
2 shot, 3 games.
It's insane. Like, you need to do something. And right now, I think you just resort to headhunting. I mean, you put a bounty out for him and say, we're going to try and demo him and bump him and hopefully tilt him a little bit to just make mistakes out there.
Yeah, no, honestly, if I'm Warriors and I'm in those comms, I'm basically saying, other than Lion Blaze, which you can get it maybe a little more physical or try to cut him off, keep playing you, man. Like, it's not that it's gone wrong. It's just you've had an unlucky bounce, an unlucky overtime. Just keep doing you. Lion Blaze was, of course, responsible for that overtime win, but, I mean, off the start, I would just continue to play my game, create these passing lanes, make Thunder and Buddy feel like, you know, they can do anything, and just find a way. Just find a way. That's all you have to do, and they've done it throughout the majority of the series. It's just been lucky plays from 72PC that have led to a Game 5.
Oof, they almost got a lucky one there as well, as Jay Wismont has to use all of his boost to carry that to midfield, but seemed to be the right decision, as now Warriors International have ball control. The ball's up in front of the box, and Jacob comes down from the ceilings to get the touch. Lion Blaze, good carry over one, but better defense from Buddy.
Beautiful time to step up to the plate and hit a double. Demo reads it off Lion Blaze, jumps over one defender, and puts it right where no one can touch it. I mean, of all the times to step up, this was it. Demo with the first goal of Game 5.
First goal of Game 5 is 8 total on the season. And now Warriors International go down by 1, but very early here in Game 5, and obviously still plenty of time to work with, but they would absolutely love to get it back as quickly as possible, as the nerves start to become a factor the longer and longer you look at that deficit. And Buddy can't get by Jacob again, coming off the ceiling. You see Demo on that side wall falling off. That was a good opportunity, but they just couldn't capitalize.
And that might have honestly found its way to the net had it been accurate enough. But still, we sit at 1-0 in favor of 72PC. A good challenge from Buddy wins it in the corner. Another challenge for 72PC goes their way. Lion Blaze will carry by himself, and he carries over 2 defenders somehow and tries to set it up for Jacob at midfield. However, he wasn't there. Demo does, however, win it. Oh my. Try not to throw up. That was disgusting. Okay. That was gross.
Great double tap from Demo. And you talked about it, stepping up to the plate. He is doing that right now when his team absolutely needs him most. 2 goals for 72PC, both at the hand of Demo. And let's see if Lion Blaze can put another one up there.
You know, physicality or not, maybe we just need Demo to start stepping up a little bit more. A great shot from Jacob. Like, apparently when Demo starts scoring, everyone else starts scoring, and Lion Blaze has less pressure. Here comes Jacob out of absolutely nowhere, another continent, and finds the back of the net. 3-0. I mean, with 3 minutes left, yeah, time, but Subi, this game is slowly getting out of reach.
3-0 off of 3 shots. Do you think that they're listening to us, Spaceman? We say accuracy is a problem, and they say, no. No problem. We're going to hit every single shot that we're throwing at the net.
I hope so. Physicality, accuracy, it all works, man. Get everyone involved. Lion Blaze off the side. And the danger is cleared. Demo should read it. No, that's an open net and an open goal. All of a sudden, just a 2-goal deficit, but Buddy plays it perfectly by himself.
And that's just a all you need to hit if you're Jacob there. That was a gimme over to Buddy, and now you've put a little momentum in the back pocket of the Warriors right now, and that's not something that you wanted to do.
Hold on, I was saying off that face-off, you lose that challenge, you get it stalled out with a bad hit, all of a sudden, and within a quick second, you could be looking at a very dangerous 3-2 edge, but break for 72. Now they have to fall back in transition, and I think all 3 committed.
They did,
so now
and that's something they cannot do.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can't. But, I mean, they're lucky that Jay Wismont has no boost, because now they can fall back.
The difference in Game 5 here has been the pressure that 72PC has been putting on, and I absolutely agree with them that they need to maintain it, but you don't do that with 3 members going forward, because it is not a game you want to play of trying to trade booming clear for booming clear and see who, pushes up too far forward. That's not a game you want to play in Game 5.
A great hit down, but all of a sudden we're seeing some off-angle shots from 72. It's not a problem. You have a 2-goal lead with 1:40, but Warriors International needs to wake up. They need to do it now. Could this be the start of something? Buddy's going to carry it down. Dribbles over one, but no one to follow in except Thunder on the wall. Loses the challenge. And the contest goes the other way, but they're running out of time slowly. Still possible, Subi, but they got to at least get a quick goal in the next maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah, you'd like it in about 15 seconds. We talked about it this morning. Give your team as much time as possible to try and bring it to overtime. You don't want to be trying to force too much, but it's getting to that time where they need to just throw the house plus the kitchen sink. And Demo, great read, cut that pass off. Jay Wismont was ready and waiting, and a good bump from Buddy, but the shot just wasn't there from Jay Wismont. And we get closer and closer to 30 seconds. It's starting to turn to that time where you absolutely need to just triple commit and do everything you can.
Oh, a good challenge from Demo, getting very, very aggressive on those side corners. I mean, he's going up for those challenges, and that's kept the time from stalling for a goal. Great hit. We'll just burn more of it. Now 25 and counting. Lion Blaze wins it into the corner. 15 seconds. Now make it around 10. This could be it. It should be it. Unless they score here. But, Subi, we are going to be looking at a Game 5 win for 72 PC, and what a huge, huge win this was.
Massive win for them. They desperately needed this to keep their season alive, and with that, 72 PC remain relevant in the rival series as they could absolutely make a push for top 5 and throw the standings for a loop.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, the one thing we said about them was they need to play this way. They didn't play this way, which is physical. And all of a sudden, they start winning some overtimes, thanks to Lion Blaze and thanks to Jacob. And Lion Blaze again. And now we're looking at a situation where Demo steps up in Game 5. And Demo has been quiet all series. He's been quiet in series prior. He's got 2 goals, 2 saves, 2 shots. Dude was 100% with an assist to Jacob. I mean, it all works together, and maybe this team is starting to wake up a little bit more. There's still issues they got to fix. Physicality is one of them, but it's good to see Demo getting involved. It's good to see Jacob getting involved. And, Lion Blaze, we've talked about him for 1,000 years, but again, just hats off 72 PC, man. They closed the deal. They did what they had to do.
They did, and I doubted them, and I guess I owe them all a humble apology. I'm sorry that I doubted you. You guys proved me wrong. But I love to see it. I want to continue to see this. And I think they have plenty of tape to work off of now to fix the issues that are at hand. And Game 5 is what I want to see from them here on out. That Game 5, I mean, there's no reason why you guys can't play as a top competitor here.
No, you're 100% right. And I think there's still room to doubt because there's still issues that they haven't fixed or made vast improvements on from last week that we saw. Again, physicality, sure, but there's still things they got to work on. This team's not out of the woods yet, but they're getting closer to the edge of the trees, which is important, and nonetheless. So again, congratulations to them. They win Game 5, and Warriors International played great all series, but when it came to crunch time, some of their issues in terms of transitions and goal line defense has been a factor for them. Not that great in this series. We'll see how they can fix that moving forward.
Yeah, Warriors International fall to 2-4, and 72 PC, like we said, go to 2-3. But up next, are we going to see a team get their first win in the rival series, and that's RBG, or are we going to see a team get their first back-to-back win as Monkey Business is coming in hot off of a win, but have yet to follow up the season with back-to-backs? I don't know what's going to happen. Let's find out, as that's going to be up after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Rival Series, our second half of the North American broadcast. I am still Tom F. Battinger, but I am changing up who I'm here with. We saw Subi and Spaceman. Now we've got Supersonics and Stacks. What's up, guys? Supersonic, you doing good? You all situated? You feeling good?
Yeah, my chair was trying to tip me out of it there for a second, but I'm all right. We've recovered. It was we had a little bit of an emergency, but I've recovered and I'm ready to get into these matches here. We see what we got in the second half here of NA.
I'm glad you're situated. Stacks, what's going on, big guy?
I'm getting excited for, I think, what could be... This match could be closer coming up than I think a lot of people think, but I'm really excited about our last match of the night.
Yeah, we've got 3 and 4 coming your way. Glancing at the schedule, number 1 was Charlotte Phoenix and Omni Nation. Charlotte Phoenix take this one, kind of an upset. A lot of fun. 72 pin connector. We just watched them beat down Warriors International later on. You heard Stacks is excited. Absolute Leverage and Mirage. That one should be interesting. But coming up right now, Monkey Business and RBG Esports. Now, things have been kind of going good for Monkey. They got a win last week. We heard Subi kind of allude to maybe they'll get 2 in a row here, but RBG not exactly bringing it home. 0-5, 10th in the league. Stacks, why is RBG struggling so much?
I think the biggest reason that this team is struggling is they didn't improve nearly as much as a team should after staying together for so long like they did. They could have gone their separate ways and tried to qualify with other rosters. Instead, they tried to stick it out, and none of them individually made the improvements that you normally see everybody make from season to season. When you look at the scoring in this matchup entirely, the leading scorer in this match is not even in the top 10 in the league in North America. It's mind-blowing how there's not a lot of offense on either of these teams when you've got guys like Calm and Aeon, and then on the other side, you've got Tool, who we've seen at times can light it up.
It's absolutely possible. We've seen him get in position, but unfortunately haven't been able to bring home the win, neither him, Bambi, or even Porklet. So as we move into predictions position, I think this one is probably a little bit predictable here. Super, you're on the clock.
I would agree. I think it's a bit predictable. RBG hasn't been able to piece something together and figure out how to get a win yet, which makes it really hard for me to get behind them, which is why I'm going to have to go the way of Monkey Business. They have been able to figure out how to piece it together, how to get some wins this season. And I think that they're going to find another win here today and do that back-to-back for the first time, like Subi was talking about, against a struggling RBG Esports.
Certainly possible. Stacks, your go.
Monkey Business is a team that has started to look a little bit like what everybody expected they should be. And I think that they're going to continue that here. I think that they are the better team on paper. They're going to prove they're the better team on the field. I don't think a guy like Calm is going to stay down near the bottom of the league that much longer. I think that they're going to start their climb, and it starts right here.
I respect that, boys. Monkey Business is also where I'm going to go. I think that I had high hopes. You remember week 1, week 2, I was really high on this team. I thought big things were going to come. Unfortunately, they didn't. But Monkey Business gave Omni their first loss last week. That's why Karma and Charlotte were able to make that number 2. And so they're kind of starting to rev up and get into gear. And I think because of that, we're going to see Monkey Business go ahead and take this one. RBG Esports will continue to spin their wheels, if you ask me. At the end of the day, I think Monkey Business just going to come out on top. But words can only do so much. Actions speak louder, and I want to crank it up to 11. So we've got Monkey, and we've got RBG Esports. You guys are going to grab the mic. Let's get into the action.
It is amazing, Supersonic. We talked about just very briefly the lack of scoring in this league or in this matchup compared to the rest of the league. This could be a very low scoring series. And if it does remain that way, that does give RBG a shot.
One of the interesting stats on this one, I was looking at it just before we got on the call, is these are the two teams that actually give up the most shots to their opponents. So RBG
Yep.
Esports actually giving up 29 more shots. Monkey Business, though, interesting stat, gave up 40 more shots. So it's going to be interesting to see the pacing. That's really what's going to kind of dictate. That eyeball test at the beginning of that first match is going to be something that I think we might see what's going to dictate this series.
Yeah, whoever scores first. We talked about that earlier on in Europe. Hey, whoever scores first might win the whole series. This is another series that's very much like that. The level of play, I think, might be a little bit higher here because I think RBG has a much better shot this time around than a team like Servette would have in Europe. But that is what we play the games for, and it starts out with RBG getting the first strike. It'll be Pork lobbing one up there, Calm very quickly up the ladder, and Aeon to play this all the way downfield. No goal in the first 15 seconds, so you've got that at least. Now Calm, skying one up, looking for Stokely to go chase it, but Bambi will take over instead as these two teams continue to feel each other out here in the first 30 seconds or so. What are you looking forward to the most here, Supersonic, out of this Monkey Business squad?
I'm looking for Aeon to really kind of pop off. He's somebody that we've talked about a lot, somebody being that guy that's just should be a hot striker for the team. And it feels strange. It's talked about that stat where they're giving up more goals and they're not getting that offense going. I'd like to see him get more involved and really put some heat towards the net and put some pressure downfield.
Two teams near the lower middle or lower end of the scoring overall. As mentioned, here's Stokely. Just trying to cut off the midfield line. And that would be Aeon to take over. We've seen Aeon yield to Calm quite a bit. This time Aeon comes in. He will score, but give a big assist to Calm here as he just ran right through, almost getting a piece of Tool.
All kinds of awkward there. Aeon tried to make the pass. The pass was a little off pace for Calm. Calm ends up missing it, tries to go for the bump, misses the bump, but gets the player to commit to a panic flip, which opens the net. Kind of an odd mismatch of things going wrong while going completely right.
This is not a Monkey Business team that is going to score a lot of goals by making passes. You know, they're not going to get that infield pass to somebody who's just going to let it rip from the center of the field. As Aeon does just enough with Tool and company all over him. Now Stokely back the other way. Another solo effort. Trying to score on the rebound is Aeon. This will be set away. Now Calm will try. And Tool should have this ball. That is dunked back off to the side. And Aeon can go chase it down. So RBG having to work a little harder to get this ball out of their zone, but they do.
Calm's been doing really well so far in the sense of when things have gone awry or a miss has happened, he's making that secondary effort to create openings for the next guy coming up, though. We saw him go in and try and get the bump on that goalie. Unfortunately, his teammate wasn't able to clean that up. But if Calm can continue to harass the opponent that way, they're going to open up a lot of opportunities, possibly for Aeon to get in there and be that striking force that I wanted him to be.
Stokely against Bambi. It'll be Bambi who wins the challenge. Needs a teammate, has Porklet, but he missed the ball entirely, and Monkey Business should be able to get rid of this. It is Stokely. Calm getting in front of Porklet. That disrupts the defense a little bit, but not enough to open things up any further. That's a miss by Calm out of the corner, but fortunately the ball falls to Aeon, so he could roll it to that opposite corner. And now Stokely takes over, getting nudged away from the ball by Tool. The attack's still alive for Monkey Business, and nobody goes for RBG, so Aeon scores against his former org.
Yep, Calm going to put that one high. It's going to roll around just into that lower corner. Such an odd spot with that camera angle for Tool. Aeon knows that he's awkward, goes in, finishes it up.
Very important distinction, former org, not former team, as Aeon, part of the RBG team that promoted up to the RLCS the previous season, now known as Flight. RBG back in the rival series as an org. They picked up the former Zookeeper squad from last season, who again came in with a lot of promise. They barely requalified, and they have struggled ever since. Here's Bambi trying to center. Looking for Tool. Tool coming up a little slow, and Stokely had all the time in the world to line up a save. So now Calm. Through midfield. Oh, around one. Over another. Stokely can't finish. And it will be Porklet trying to get this back out to Bambi. There haven't been many great opportunities for RBG to get on the board. They do have 6 shots. About to get a 7th. This one, lucky number 7, finds the back of the net.
Yeah, anytime we seem to talk about them not having opportunities, teams seem to get the opportunity. The caster curse, or caster luck, I guess in this case, is going to ring true. Bambi able to find one, does it all himself, fires one in there quick.
And just like that, they're back within 1 as they work on their own defensive end. Calm playing one around. That's taken by Bambi. Porklet over to Tool, but Stokely gets in the way. Nobody's accounted for Bambi, however, and Tool did all he could to try and get in somebody's way. Golden opportunity there for RBG. They have the momentum, but has too much time gone by as they still trail by a goal. Tool gets in the way here. Now Bambi needs to boom it downfield, and he does. Somebody's got to chase it. Will be Tool, but Calm plays that around him. Back it goes over to Porklet with 10 seconds left. Drop down for Tool. He takes the shot instead of passing to Porklet. Does keep this ball in front. Bambi's there, beat Calm, but Aeon's there for the save. No time on the clock. One last save by Aeon. Stokely will kill it. No, he won't. Bambi keeps us in the air. Now Porklet to tie. Oh, it's down on the goal line.
That ball is 50% of the way there. Unfortunately, you got to get it 100%. Touches down right on the goal line. That is heartbreaking.
It looked good.
Oh.
The pass went across. It didn't look like there was any way it wasn't going to end up in the net, but there was no power. And just one little touch right at the end kills it down into the ground. And they are just that close to tying the game, but close only counts in horseshoes. And here we are. Monkey Business hangs on by the skin of their teeth for a 1-0 series lead.
When the ball took off for the net, I thought we were going to OT 100% there. That ball stopping just shy. Aeon, though, being that guy, wanted to see him show up, be that striker, be that hot player for them. Comes in, does it. 2 goals, 2 saves, 3 shots, shooting 66%. He's doing really, really well so far. RBG Esports just not quite able to get everything on target. They had a couple golden opportunities there that ended up going high off the crossbar or wide, or a couple situations where there was the pass opportunity to get that ball into Porklet. Porklet's been kind of hovering. He's sitting there waiting, looking for those, and they're taking a lot of solo shots.
There have been quite a few solo efforts on both sides. It was great teamwork that almost tied up game 1. So now RBG has to start from scratch. But then so does Monkey Business, and it's RBG who had all the momentum at the end of that last game, and they score 4 seconds in game 2.
They're upset that they got denied that goal at the 0-second mark, and they wanted it. They're getting it. Porklet's going to go in, make sure they have it. 4 seconds in, they're up 1-0. Great way to start off the match.
This one counts, and now it's RBG looking to add yet another. Porklet blocked by Aeon, but Tool is there. He got a piece of that clearance effort from Calm. That's a great job by Calm, though, reading the play and staying with it. Drop down for Aeon, looking to tie the game very early on, but Bambi jumps in the way of this shot. Now it'll be Aeon collecting midfield boost and Calm taking over, and he will not chase any further.
Yeah, Calm's really been involved a lot here. His secondary effort of staying with the ball, his boost management's been really strong so far. Love what we're seeing out of him. He's trying to set up pass plays and opportunities for the rest of the team. He's that guy to get things done for you right now.
Porklet to the corner, where it can be played by Bambi if he can get there, but this is going to go further towards the RBG net. than the Monkey Business side. Now Aeon, he will just give way and let Tool take this out. And Bambi makes sure there's nothing towards the center. Tool, however, does play that back to Porklet. Dangerous play in some circumstances, but with not a lot of pressure there for Monkey Business, why not? Now Tool looking to center again. He cannot as Aeon gets in his way. Porklet just trying to apply a little token pressure. He'll rotate out with boost. And getting a piece of that midfield boost. So important for teams, and so far, one side has belonged to RBG, the other midfield boost has belonged to Monkey Business. And that's pretty standard with these two teams being so evenly matched.
Yeah, it feels like both of them are rotating kind of heavy towards their right side. So on those rotations, each one's giving up the other, obviously giving up that other side. So they're just kind of trading those out.
Good center ball there for Porklet. Two defenders in the way for Monkey Business. And Calm just waits patiently as no shot comes in. RBG. Porklet beat Calm to the midfield boost again. And it will be Bambi getting this ball away from Stokely. They're not out of the woods just yet. Porklet's got to send one away. He does right down the middle. And Stokely's there just to hit a Bambi. Half a game gone by here in game 2 as RBG is clinging to a 1-goal lead. It was Monkey Business that was hanging on for dear life in game 1, and boy did they. With the ball dying on the goal line, there's Porklet's going to add some insurance. This one, you feel like it has to be stopped.
It really needs to be. There's not a lot of power on that. He does get that last second kind of awkward touch on the ball with that front tire, lifts it just enough to get it over and just enough to keep it under that crossbar and sneak it past Aeon as well.
Second goal of the series for Porklet. Ties him for the series lead with Aeon, who of course scored both goals for Monkey Business in game 1. Tool and Porklet going in the same direction at the same time. That could have been trouble, and it almost turned into some as Calm's shot whistles wide. Here goes Tool. He's got Bambi at midfield, but Aeon intercepts. Porklet's in a tough spot now, and with Calm breathing down his neck, an unenviable position, but he did just enough, and Tool gets back. He had a demo for his efforts. Now nobody's home, and Calm will score.
There it is. Calm has had a lot of opportunities here in the last minute or so of touches, and just kind of defender always there in his way. Finally, a good look at an open net. Calm throws it right in there. Gotta feel good. The first half of the match, he was really trying to get some touches, and it felt like he was everywhere and just couldn't get a handle on the ball with them taking the boost from him time and time again.
Stokely just made a bid to tie this game up very quickly, but it did not work out. And now it is Monkey Business trying to play the same role that RBG played in game 1. There's a little miscommunication on that effort. And a ball that does pinch back towards the net, and it will fall harmlessly off to the side.
Yeah, that ball should have been one for Bambi. Porklet should have come off of that. He tried to do it himself. Made the self-fulfilled play, or play attempt. Bambi could have put some heat on that one.
Aeon, he did something similar in the promotion tournament last season, but this time it's Stokely, or rather the rival playoffs. Either way, it is Stokely who finishes the job this time.
I love the second effort there, though, from Aeon. I think he would have gotten there. Immediately hits the wall off that touch, and he was gunning it for it. He got called off by Stokely, goes ahead and backflips and gets out of the way. So good communication there between those two players.
And just like that, we're right back where we started 4.5 minutes ago. Both teams tied up. Tool, everybody misses here. Calm with a floater, and it falls in.
What happened with Porklet here? Calm with the touch, and this is just one of those ones where you're like, well, I guess, yeah, that goes in. Yeah, get the touch. Porklet landing, unfortunately coming in a bit awkward, hits the ground, not able to get up and react in time. Panic flips backwards into the net instead of heading towards the ball.
And all of a sudden, now the pressure is back onto RBG with 15 seconds left. Trying to tie this game up again. Porklet right out at Stokely. Now Tool has Porklet over there, but he's torn between ball and boost, so Calm will just play control. Stokely will be able to do whatever he wants with this ball. He'll just roll it along, and that'll do it in game 2. What a comeback from Monkey Business as they score 3 unanswered, and now they are 5 minutes away from making short work of the winless RBG.
Yeah, they're making good. They're about to make quick work of it, and it appears to be, for me anyways, the team comms, the communication. I just talked about it. Aeon pulled himself off of that, left that ball for Stokely. He could have very easily gone for it, but they could have also ended up in a double commit situation and randomly pinched that ball into the ceiling. They make the smart play. Same thing at the end. Stokely's choosing to just make the smart play, roll the ball down, let the timer in. They're making smart team plays. They're not overcommitting on anything. And when they are going in, they're fully committing to that play. Calm goes in. If he gets a miss, he's trying to get the bump on his way out. They're making effort, or secondary effort, which is opening up those opportunities for them to make that comeback.
RBG has only been swept one time this season. It was at the hands of 72 Pin Connector. It was also last week on a mainstream match, and now they are staring down that possibility right here. They need to turn things around in a hurry against Monkey Business, and a win like that for Monkey Business, coming back the way they did after the first couple of minutes didn't look so great, that's got to be a huge confidence boost to them. It's got to be a killer for RBG. We kick it off in game 3 with Stokely trying to start things off very quickly for Monkey Business. They will be turned aside, at least initially. And keep an eye on the morale, I guess is the best way to put it, for RBG. If Monkey Business scores very early on in this game, Supersonic, it could be over very quickly.
Absolutely. It's something we talked about a ton in Europe earlier today, is that mental fortitude is what happens when you do get to this situation. And one of the teams on that European side, RCD Espanyol, testament to them, they are the team. If you're looking for a team that has mental fortitude, they're the guys in the rival series. And some other teams need to look. You're never out. You need to stay with this. And we see some teams go, oh man, yeah, it's just a absolute cluster there on the line.
That went off of Tool. Otherwise, it's probably in the net. And we talked about it with Servette, how there is just nothing going their way at all. I present Exhibit B, RBG. Winless so far, 0-2 in this series. And when they have a chance to score early in a game they must win, that happens. Here's Calm, met by Bambi, but possession remains with Monkey Business. It is Aeon. Great pass out to Stokely. Better read by Tool defensively. And now Tool and Bambi will break out. Porklet waiting for a pass he's never going to get. Stokely takes him out of the play, and all Tool can do is throw the ball off to the side and wait for Porklet to respawn, which he has, but Aeon is all over that ball. You are seeing more of a controlled style for Monkey Business in the later stages of this series. If it does end up being just a 3-gamer, they've controlled possession a lot better than they did in game 1, especially down the stretch when RBG started coming back. And as a result, well, you're seeing fewer opportunities for this RBG squad. They do have 5 shots, but none of them have been great other than the one that Tool blocked.
Porklet gonna knock that one away. Yeah, they really haven't had a ton of great touches. A lot of this is, I 100% agree with you. The control is going the way of Monkey Business. They've kind of slowed the play down. They're just maintaining possession of the ball. Eventually, the mistake will come, and they will capitalize upon it. Stokely gonna put that one in the net. Takes down the first goal of game number 3 at just past the halfway mark.
And when Stokely gets going, this Monkey Business team is even more dangerous. Remember, they've gotten to where they are right now, around 500, with Stokely still not happy at all with his play. We have not seen his best so far this season, but so far, he's got a pair of goals. He's got a pair of helping hands as well. as Stokely will throw one over to Calm, trying to farm another assist, and now it'll be Tool and Porklet trying to combine. Porklet needs one more, and Stokely gets in his way. Brought back in by Bambi, could be trouble, but Aeon sends it safely off to the side. Another shot in, and Calm blocks that. Now RBG are getting looks, but still monkey business. It's a different player every time, jumping in front of the way. Now it's Aeon getting in front of Tool, still harassing him there on the back wall, and Calm makes an easy save. Stokely avoids the demo, and monkey business seems like only a matter of time before they get out of the woods, especially after that pass goes wayward. Here goes Aeon, and he does not center the ball. Stokely is going to catch up to this. Does he get it on target? Oh my goodness! I didn't think he had a chance.
This second effort from both of them, Aeon with just the most awkward little touch to pop it up off the wall, Stokely into the ceiling, back to himself, catches it with the underside just enough to redirect it into the net, making it look easy. I take that back. That looked complicated. I'm not going to pull that off anytime soon.
You know me, I don't get very excited when somebody doesn't have a chance to score, and I did not think in a million years that ball was going to find the net. But pretty soon the Devil's going to start investing in a snowplow. This will go over to the side. It'll be Stokely again, dropping one down, and Bambi has it. So 2-0 the lead with 1 minute left. Monkey business get a very important goal to, if the will of RBG wasn't broken yet, it might be now after that one went in. Here's Aeon, good pass over to Calm, and now it's just a possession game as RBG are scrambling even to get possession. They have some now. Stokely might have got clipped by Bambi there, but it doesn't matter as he still lands in front of the net and sweeps that ball away, and back downfield they go.
That might be the one that just kind of finishes it off. That was the pretty good look at net, not able to put that one away, and the time is just being eaten here off the clock as the possession is continually in the hands of monkey business.
Aeon against Porklet, just a little more pressure, slow them down even more. RBG scrambling back to their own net, almost like they're waving the white flag. 5 seconds down to 4. Aeon adds one more, and monkey business, how symbolic. 3-0 in game 3.
And they are going to take down that second week in a row, which has got to feel great for these guys to feel like they're getting some traction going. It's a team that we talked about a lot, and one that you typed up to me quite a bit, with Aeon being that third man coming this roster.
Yeah, monkey business. Monkey business now on a 2-match win streak. They sweep RBG. Of course, they beat Omni Nation a week ago on the B stream. And all of a sudden, the standings getting just a little jumbled up here. Now, all of a sudden, the teams are getting a little bit closer together, and you start looking at the race for second and third in particular, Super. And there are no clear favorites other than, you've got Stromboli up at the top, but even they've shown signs of being human.
They've shown signs. It'll be interesting to see how they come back from that. I'm interested to watch the next match and cast that next one from them, but they're still the superhumans in my eyes in this division on the NA side of the rival series. Monkey business, though, finally clicking. I'm liking it. I really like what I was seeing, and again, I talked about the secondary effort. The secondary effort out of all three of those players in all the matches, the absolute top. They did really, really well.
Well, the playoff picture continues to get cloudier and cloudier, but we'll try to add a little bit of clarity to it with our final match this week in North America. Mirage takes the field after they beat Stromboli last week. They've got absolute leverage. Does Wonder Mike have another wonder in him? We'll find out right after this.
Another week or will be not.
That's hot. Get it while it's hot.
Photo of you in my mind, on the table under lights. There's no one here but you and I. This neon town is yours and mine. And I said, hey, Carissa. Stayed up through the days and night, lay and we watched the world get light. Hey, Carissa, sunlight, freedom in your eyes. Please don't leave now. Photo of you in my mind, on the table under lights. There's no one here but you and I. This neon town is yours and mine. And I said, hey, Carissa. Stayed up through the days and night, lay and we watched the world get light. Hey, Carissa, sunlight, freedom in your eyes. Please don't leave now.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed, or at least down at the bottom. Monkey Business takes match number 3 above RBG. Easy peasy. I'm F-Dot. These are my friends. Say hello to Stacks and Supersonic. How you guys doing? You stable? You doing good? What's up?
I think I'm stable now. I had a little bit of an internet hiccup there for a second, became Mr. Robotic, and Stacks jumped in there and saved me. So first my chair tried to eliminate me, now the internet doesn't like me. I don't know what I'm doing, man.
How about you, Stacks? How you feeling after game number 3?
I'm very surprised at how easily Monkey Business dealt with RBG there. I thought that they were going to win. I thought it would take at least 4 games, but boy, Stokely played out of his mind.
It's kind of the expected outcome, but maybe a different way than we thought it would kind of boil down. So that one goes in the books. Monkey Business get one, and now they're 3-3. So finally the team is kind of even. I had high hopes. We'll see what happens. Match number 4, though, on the docket. We've got Absolute Leverage coming up, and they're going to be facing off against Mirage. Alev is Rodoko, Kinsey, and Wanda Mike. And Mirage is Luke, Freshness, and J-Russ. We've seen these guys a couple of times now, 2-3 and 3-3 for Ablev and Mirage, respectively. It's been a lot of fun watching Absolute Leverage play. Rodoko and Wanda Mike have been really, really dynamic players. Kinsey has kind of stepped up here and there, but I think has kind of struggled to find his footing. Whereas across the way, Mirage here, Luke, Freshness, J-Russ, I'm going to talk a lot about them in a little bit. But Stacks, I want you to set the table for us here. What can we expect out of our final match today?
I think you can expect two teams that are going to feel a sense of urgency in this match, because now we're getting to the point of the season where you start looking at game differential, because tiebreakers are going to be a thing. There's not going to be a clean cut between, third and fourth. So it's very important to not just win, but win quickly. And for both these teams, as close as they are, yeah, Mirage is 3-3, which is a little better than Absolute Leverage's 2-3. But Absolute Leverage has a +1 game differential, where Mirage, they've taken a couple lumps. They're still -4 right now.
A little bit rough.
Yeah.
Supersonic, I'm going to ask for your take and your prediction as we move into this one.
So this is a bit of an interesting one, and I've got some reasons why. So one, I think Mirage, if they can do what they did last week, I think that it's going to be very hard for Absolute Leverage to stop them. But Mirage came in last week with a game plan suited specifically to that team, and they did it very, very well. Hung out a little bit last night with Luke on his stream as it was ending, talking with him for a little bit. And he actually wants me to root against them.
I like
which
that.
is a strange thing to be requested. But you never have to talk me into rooting for Wanda Mike. So I'm going to go Absolute Leverage. I love the guy. I think Absolute Leverage, when they're back against the wall, Wanda Mike really steps up. And when he steps up, the rest of the team feels good. They get that energy going. And I love seeing them play when they're hyped up. So I'll go Absolute Leverage anyways. It was a toss up to begin with. But Luke, if you want me to root against you, I'll do just that for you, buddy.
It's that Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant's he used to perform better in arenas that booed him, right? So maybe it's that Mamba mentality. Got to get in position there. Stacks, we heard you kind of tell everybody what to expect here. What do you expect in the win column?
I expect Mirage to continue to build off of what they had going last week. I mean, I don't think anybody gave them a chance. I know I certainly didn't give them a chance last week against what had been the NA juggernaut in Stromboli, and they came out and they matched them blow for blow. They matched them shot for shot, and they ultimately took the dub. I think they continue that here. I know they did lose last week, they lost last week on the B stream, but they also didn't have Luke, who played the series of his life last week. He's the guy I expect to get it going again here tonight, and I've got Mirage.
So I love that both of you brought up how Mirage played last week. They brought Stromboli to 3-2. That's a really big deal. Stromboli, one of the stronger teams. But Absolute Leverage, there's just been some X factor, some je ne sais quoi that I enjoyed watching these guys do their thing. I think Rodoko is a dirtier player than people anticipate, and Wanda Mike has absolutely done it. But if you don't trust my eyes, the stats are interesting as well. Look, they had a bad week in week number 3 with 2 losses. And then week number 4, they bounced back with a 3-0. And similar to how I felt about Charlotte Phoenix, when you look at the VOD, when you're able to make those adjustments, that tells the tale. And when I see 2 losses and then a 3-0 back-to-back against Monkey Business, who's a middle-of-the-pack team, that means something. So I put Absolute Leverage here to go ahead and take this one. I think that these guys have what it takes to really topple the Mirage and bring them again to a 3-3, just like Monkey Business did this week as well. We'll see if that's the case. Absolute Leverage going to be taking the field versus Mirage, who's in the 4th place position. Supersonic at Stacks. It's all you, baby.
We've talked so much Supersonic, and we will over the next couple of weeks here as we round out the season. The playoff picture and the sense of urgency that these teams are going to have. We haven't talked nearly as much about it as maybe we should with these teams that are right in the middle of the pack, but every mistake, once you reach this point of the season, is just amplified a little bit more as everybody's under the microscope.
Yeah, this is where it's do or die time. You got to show up. This is the moment where you decide if you're the team that gets to stay in or if you're sitting on the bottom half of that midfield. These are the matches that decide whether you're going back to go through play-ins again. And nobody wants to go back there. I'm sure you'd much rather just stay and ride it out. And we're going to find out how these teams square up here in just a moment.
Remember, the top 6 teams will, at the very least, keep their spot in the rival series for next season. 3rd and 2nd will go into the promotion tournament. The top team, which both these teams are still in the hunt for as well, that number 1 spot goes automatically to the RLCS next season. There is a lot to play for here, getting a little bit of distance between you and everybody else below you, like Warriors International, like Monkey Business, who just won earlier tonight, and also just get a little bit closer to those teams up there, like Chaos, like Omni Nation, who has now dropped 2 in a row. They're going to start feeling the heat no matter who wins this match, and it's about to get underway. Absolute Leverage and Mirage, 5 games at most for a huge matchup and bragging rights and all sorts of tiebreaker implications in the standings. We are underway with game number 1. It is Freshness giving it away to Wonder Mike. He has been hot and cold at various points of the season, Wonder Mike, but it was Luke who had been cold for much of this season until last week when he came alive against Stromboli, led them to a huge win that gave them a lot of life in the standings. Intercepted here by Rodoko. Wonder Mike waiting. He's not needed because Rodoko does it all himself. It takes 40 seconds, and Rodoko blazes the trail for Absolute Leverage.
I looked at the second monitor to pull up my stat sheet for one moment, and Rodoko throws in just lobs one into the net to open this one up. Alev off to a good start, and that makes me feel good because my man F-Dot came through and went Alev with me, which that man's been on fire today with his picks.
And normally the blind leading the blind, but he has been on point, and so far Rodoko on point. He is waiting at the back here, and he will now come up to challenge Luke. Freshness is there as well, and Rodoko got a piece of that ball as well. Kinsei throws one all the way over. Luke is there, and Rodoko does get back in time to at least fend off one attack, and everybody from Mirage will back off. Kinsei blown up by Freshness. Rodoko takes out J-Russ 2-on-2 for a brief second before Kinsei will find Wonder Mike, and he'll take the shot instead of passing to Rodoko, and J-Russ makes the save.
Bit of a solo play there. I would have liked to see that pass down to Rodoko. Far, you're ways off. There's a defender there. Mike trying to force one in there. Want to see him get more involved. I like when he does the solo plays when he's close to the net, when he gets up and does some of the flashy plays, gets the ball around people. But I want to see him make use of those teammates.
J-Russ against Kinsei. Good challenge by J-Russ, better challenge by Wonder Mike. But there's Luke to back up the play, so Rodoko has to take over. Probably could have just collected that ball, instead opted to pop it away. So now Luke will bring one back in. I think the first team that starts to play a more controlled style, Supersonic, is going to have a huge advantage, is right now both teams are just throwing the ball across the center line, dump and chase, kind of like a hockey strategy. That works for some teams, but certainly not all. I don't think it'll work for either of these two.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen time and time again throughout today and the season. The team that can start getting control over the ball, especially when they're in the situation where they're up. I'd like to see less clears out of Alev while they're up and more controls. Nice pass into the mid lane. One to Mike coming up, and he's going to pound that one home.
Yeah, this is just not a good ball from Freshness. He virtually gave it away. And there's Wonder Mike waiting at midfield, a lot like Nagflow was for Vertex earlier today on the European side. It works out just as well for Absolute Leverage as it did for Vertex earlier today. Here's J-Russ over Kinsey. So now Luke and J-Russ. Pass out to Luke. No, rebound taken by Freshness though. And that will be cleared away. Luke is not going to get back in time, battling with Wonder Mike, and he does get to this ball.
I thought we were about to see goal number 3 there. Luke able to get out just ahead and recover and get a touch on that ball. Rodoko looking for that flip reset. Thought he was going to go for the pass, but Kinsey gonna get demoed there. Rodoko tries to make a solo effort. Nothing to come of it.
J-Russ. Oh, a defender caught this, and it still almost went in. Now J-Russ down to Luke. He's got Freshness coming on, and Luke could neither get a pass nor shot because he missed one important factor, the ball. Now Wonder Mike, 2-on-1 with Kinsey against Luke, and Luke makes the stop. So Rodoko will have to send this one back in. Wonder Mike very quickly coming downfield. This will go out of the corner. Rodoko is there. His shot. Oh, Wonder Mike might have been trying to redirect or run interference. Got neither. And it still remains 2-0. Only 2-0 with a minute left.
Midfield's been really interesting to me so far. So last week we talked about it over and over again in that matchup against Stromboli. Mirage has been that team that came in with the plan, and they were getting up, they were controlling the midfield, they were first to the ball, they were there to greet them and challenge every touch. That doesn't seem to be the case here, and I wonder if it's because of the number of awkward double touches that Wonder Mike does. He does a lot of clears off the backboard to the sidewall where he chases that ball down and then pops it out to mid or shoots it down the sidewall with a pinch, and that's not really something we were seeing Stromboli throw at them, and it seems to be breaking up that momentum and rhythm of Mirage.
J-Russ will try to bring this to the side. They got to score right now to have a chance at a kickoff goal, and they will not. And that will just about do it, as Rodoko, the only thing that matters now is stats, and that will do it. This ball will touch down sooner or later. Luke might add one. He does, but it means nothing other than it breaks up the shutout, and it will be Absolute Leverage taking game number 1 as they did control most of the second half of this opener.
Yeah, we talked about wanting to see somebody take control of the ball and get the possessions under control. I don't think it was to the extent of what we were probably referring to, but Alev did take control over that ball for the most part, and it really did come from those kind of odd second touches that Wonder Mike does. And I don't want to say it's necessarily Justin-esque to that extent, but it does give me a little bit of that feel where he's just always in pursuit of that ball. He's always on the back of it. Once he touches it, he has decided at that point that that ball is his, and he's going to continue to chase it down until they get to his point where he's out of boost or he doesn't feel comfortable taking a shot. So he gets these weird touches where most people aren't chasing the ball down in the same manner, and it seems to be working to get that ball around that midfield Mirage play that they had last week, where it was just meet you in the air, get there first, and win those 50s. They're not getting those opportunities this week.
For Absolute Leverage, it is effectively a shutout. You could call it a gentleman's shutout, as Mirage does get on the board. But I think more importantly, Wonder Mike was so much more involved than anybody else on the field, regardless of what side you're on. And that is something that Mirage is not going to be able to contend with. They need to make somebody else get involved. Make Rodoko do more. Yes, he scored the opener 40 seconds in. Make him do more. Make it more of a team effort for Absolute Leverage. Because if they've got to rely on all 3 members, then they're actually, oddly enough, easier to deal with. But if you let Wonder Mike do whatever he wants, ask the Charlotte Phoenix how that goes.
It feels like you might want to just try and boost star Wonder Mike. When he's able to just kind of freely run up and down the field and do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and he just kind of almost just ball chasing to an extent, it's when he seems to shine, when it feels like he's almost just in free play. J-Russ with a quick shot. Defender number 5, the crossbar, going to be there to block that one out. But Luke with the follow-up.
All these shots that would have been highlight reel goals had any of them found the net. And then Luke just rolls one home, 30 seconds in, and Mirage have their first lead of the series. They'll take it as it's 30 seconds into game 2. This is the kind of start that Mirage needs. Let's see if they can build on it. It will be Rodoko trying to score early yet again, as he did in the first game, but he stopped here. And Freshness will throw one all the way downfield towards Wonder Mike. Boy, he is so quick and decisive, too. When Wonder Mike commits to a play, there is no deterring him whatsoever. You see a lot of players, they might turn off of a play, they might get cold feet. Wonder Mike is all in, but he misses this ball, so Rodoko's going to have to take over behind him.
It's dangerous to let a player do that too. Again, we're talking a lot about Wonder Mike here, but if you let a player sit there and feel like they're in free play and that every ball is their ball, eventually they find that weird rhythm where everything just kind of fades away and the game just opens up and you kind of hit the zone. And Wonder Mike in the zone is a scary player. We've seen it happen a couple times when he really gets that rhythm going. They need to get possession. Mirage needs to slow him down if they want to keep this from becoming a disaster. They're up now, but if Wonder Mike starts getting it going, it's going to be a problem.
Wonder Mike strikes me very much as a player like Arsenal, formerly of the Peeps and now with Space Station, a player that just, on average, you don't think that this is the guy that's going to beat you, but once he starts going, he is impossible to stop. It's almost like you're playing 4-on-3 at that point. Kinsey trying to carry that underneath Luke. Maybe even drop it back to a teammate. Neither happened. So now J. Russ, just a little token pressure, forcing Wonder Mike to play another one downfield. He'll at least take the boost. But downfield comes Mirage looking for more. J. Russ, oh, great pass out to Freshness. Rodoko didn't have a clue what to do with it, and Freshness gets his first goal.
So Mirage is starting to get a bit aggressive, doing some of the similar things that I was talking about Wonder Mike doing. So they're coming in, they're doing those quick chases from one corner to the other, kind of jumping from the side wall to the back wall, skipping the corner, getting these quick touches, and it's opening up opportunities for them. Rodoko going to get a little bit of a solo opportunity there against J. Russ. Nothing going to come of it.
J. Russ downfield, and Kinsey will intercept, but Luke. It would have been a good ball had somebody been coming forward, but that's where communication becomes a huge factor. You gotta let somebody know that ball's gonna be there. How about Luke, though? Still making something out of nothing as he drops this one on target.
J. Russ getting involved in all of this, too, being the man to kind of have that touch before that shooter gets it. Again, Luke kind of a little bit of a solo there, but J. Russ setting up that opportunity to begin with. We're seeing them get that rhythm going that we saw last week against Stromboli. Luke having a good day. That's what we asked for when they took down Stromboli. We said Luke needed to show up. Luke is showing up here once again.
3 goals in the series for Luke. That leads everybody. And he'll make a stop there, well out in front. Freshness challenged by Wonder Mike. Kinsey's there. Rodoko waiting as well. Kinsey could not drop one on target. So it will be J. Russ. Indirect to himself from the ceiling. Wonder Mike at the back this time. And now he'll try to cheat forward a little bit as much as he can. Because this absolute leverage team, they are much better when Wonder Mike is in front of the opposite net rather than sitting in his own. Rodoko gonna take it himself. Wonder Mike jumped as well, so the play doesn't work out. Wonder Mike was able to steal some boost, so he was able to stay in the play, but J. Russ makes a great challenge, and it forces Rodoko to throw another downfield. Wonder Mike still all the way down on the opposite end. Now Rodoko with a redirect, and he finds the angle, thread the needle.
Beautiful shot from Rodoko, and hopefully that calms Wonder Mike down. He was hitting that point where we've seen him do this before. He starts getting that rhythm, and he's not necessarily in the zone, but he's in a mode where he feels he has to touch every ball, and he gets into a ball chase mentality to the point that it's a detriment. And he was really double committing hard there multiple times. And eventually you're going to throw your team out of rhythm, and there's not going to be a man in net, and that's going to give up 3 goals.
Another pass down towards Rodoko, but this time they don't connect. And it will be J. Rush just throwing one downfield. Not much control there, but he does get in on a challenge off Rodoko. There is still 33 seconds left. There is still time. They've got to score very, very soon, and that one saved by Luke. That may spell the end here. Still 25 seconds. Kinsey thought about it. Now he will challenge, as he thought he had Luke making a mistake, but Luke holds his ground. Freshness plays that by Wonder Mike. Down to 12 seconds left. Boy, they're playing very intelligently with a deficit, and Kinsey will score.
Getting aggressive here at the end when you're in those final moments and you have no choice but to do so. They're at least maintaining some semblance of a rotation there. I expected Alev to kind of break down, but they just had a really tight-knit kind of 1, 2, 3 coming left, coming right. Works out. Couple seconds on the clock here. Rodoko going to put one off the backboard for Kinsey, but it's going to get knocked away.
Oh, and the ball touches down literally right at 0. Maybe one more bounce, but no. And that will do it as Mirage ties the series. But you gotta like what Absolute Leverage did there, because in the final minute or so, they just threw caution to the wind. And so many times you'll see teams struggle deciding when to pull the trigger there, when to just throw everybody forward and decide, hey, look, if they get the ball by us, we're not going to score anyway, so just go at them. That's what Alev did, and it almost tied up the game.
It's almost like Wonder Mike is in that mode always, all the time. It's just when the other two are willing to pull that trigger, and when they do, if they can do it intelligently, it tends to work out for them. Really, they score those goals with either comes one of two ways. Either Wonder Mike makes some sort of stellar solo play, or they are just super aggressive and they just storm the gates to try and force that ball in. And those two strategies tend to work for them. And then we're talking about how well they did, but really, this went the way of Mirage. And Luke had a stellar game. 2 goals, 5 saves. Luke asked for us to root against him. I went against him, and apparently that Mamba mentality is coming through. He's having a big day.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the last 2 times we've seen Luke here on Fridays. 5 goals last week, 3 goals tonight, and still plenty more to go as he scores plenty over the past couple of weeks. He will try to fill up the net even more. He is waiting downfield right now, trying to wreak a little havoc with Kinsey. So Wonder Mike back the other way. Tough angle, drop down. Oh, and it's off the mark. Absolute Leverage. They have shown they can score from any angle. They almost did there. Ooh, Freshness.
Dangerous.
That's going to be challenged by Wonder Mike, as Kinsey now will throw one downfield. Wanda is there, but Rodoko is going to have to stay at the back. Kinsey is still all the way downfield. That cherry picker strategy does not work out this time, though, because there's nobody at the back, and the man of the hour strikes again.
And this kind of comes at the hands of Wonder Mike, just trying to back and forth himself across that midfield. Love the guy to death, but he's double committing pretty hard here, and that's throwing off that rotation. When that third man gets into a situation where he has to go for the ball, and Wonder Mike's out there kind of doing Wonder Mike things in the mid, and there's no one in net, you're giving easy opportunities to the opposition.
J. Russ, that's going to be just high. And now here goes Kinsey on an open net. Oh, they almost got there, but Kinsey forces it through.
Yeah, Kinsey gonna pick this one up. You got the teammate Wonder Mike coming through just enough to kind of make J. Russ think about it. That sometimes is just enough to make J. Russ shift a little more to his left to try and get that distance to not get bumped or demoed, to allow that opportunity to kind of force it in over him from Kinsey.
Well, Rodoko makes one save there and then back the other way. Oh, he tried to slow play, but the defense of J. Russ is good enough. Luke was waiting for a ball to reach him. It did not, so Freshness will be challenged. And now Luke throws one downfield. Plenty of boost available if Mirage wants to pick some up, and they do. But that means Alev can take possession. Freshness down to Luke. No, it's intercepted by Rodoko as Luke gets knocked around in the offensive third. He can't get back. That means Rodoko can put one right through the net.
Yeah, one to Mike on that rotation back, cuts mid. This time it's gonna be helpful to the team. Comes in, picks it up, puts one down to Rodoko. Nice little redirect into the net.
So now with just over 3 minutes left, plenty of offense to go around here in game 3. Both these teams locked at a game apiece in a battle with significant ramifications, and what a stop defensively, short-handed as everybody scrambled back for Ablev. Another stop made, and now Rodoko will challenge Luke. That's a good first touch, but one to Mike is there. J-Russ will guide this off to the corner.
Yeah, as you say, Mirage wants a mulligan. They want another look at that ball. Open net, unfortunately land in the wrong position and put it out wide off that backboard, giving enough time for Alev to get back and break up the play.
J-Russ hasn't done a lot of scoring, actually hasn't done any scoring in this series, but he does have 4 assists. He's trying to create a rebound opportunity there. He gets knocked out of the play as he tried to turn. So it'll be Freshness who takes over. That's going to be high. Follow-up is non-existent. So Luke will take over from his back wall. Now it's Freshness. Down to Luke, and he almost rolled one through. Rodoko jumps in the way. Now J-Russ stopped by one to Mike. Both teams have had a lot of great opportunities, but the defense has been standing tall on both ends of the pitch.
That defensive read was just on point. That 1-2-3 play, Alev able to read it and stop it. I thought for sure that one was going in.
Loose in the corner, it will be Rodoko flying in as he had to with Luke chasing that ball down. He had to burn a lot of boost to do that, though. He will pick some up out of the... No, he will not. Nobody takes that corner boost. It is Kinsey that does get there, and now Luke with a full tank of his own. Maybe a pitchel on the ceiling. No, you get up there, but it'll be J-Russ who takes the shot, and Kinsey with a rather easy save. They didn't get nearly the power they were looking for on that shot. J-Russ, indirect to himself. One to Mike all over the play. Freshness taken out, but there is Luke. And it almost worked out to perfection for Mirage, if not for the defense of Alev holding on to a 1-goal lead. Down to the final minute, one to Mike. Nobody's home. Is it on? It sure is. And the lead is up to 2.
53 seconds left on the clock. That is not what you want to see from or on the side of Mirage. An open net. One to Mike. Gonna hit those all day.
Well, it is one to Mike. Again, now it's Kinsey. His shot is going to be wide. A lot of confusion there, and more importantly, it works out in Alev's favor because not only do they get a shot on, but also that confusion slows down Mirage. It almost throws them. 30 seconds left as Freshness bombs one away. Not a whole lot of teamwork now in the closing seconds. A lot of hero ball coming out for Mirage as they try to get back into this game. Not quite with the same cohesiveness that we saw out of Alev last game, but Freshness is going to rip one right down the middle, and the defender could not catch up.
Great pass from Luke. Freshness hits it right on the money and just sends a fastball right down the middle of the net.
14 seconds and now counting. Rodoko, that's not a good ball, but it does get to Kinsey. Kinsey, this is going to drop down at an awkward angle. One to Mike take it out of the play. That would have been ball game if one to Mike got onto this. Instead, there's still life for Mirage, but they cannot rely on one to Mike or anybody from Alev to keep this alive for them, and they can't keep it up themselves. So absolute leverage will take game 3. It was a bizarre third game. It threatened to be more of an offensive showcase, and then it kind of died down at the end.
I just want to go back to that last defensive stop there from Mirage, though. Those are so scary to go for when you go for those demos. My experience is if I go for the demo, I'm probably knocking the ball into the net myself anyways. really thought that one was going to go a different direction, but I agree with you. The offensive side started off really strong. We saw a lot of attacks early in the game, and eventually the game came back down a bit. The pacing slowed back down and got to a manageable level, and then teams started capitalizing on mistakes. Alev finding a couple more mistakes than Mirage was able to.
And so, because they were able to find some of those mistakes, they are one win away from a very important win. And good news for the likes of Stromboli and Chaos, who are up above all of this madness. They, if Absolute Leverage do take this particular game, they would knock Mirage down just a few pegs and give those teams up above one less team to worry about in their immediate rear view.
Yeah, they right in the rear view is at least where you want them to be, though. You have them in the rear view. Yeah. They're not ahead of you. You just got to maintain and get something else going. I don't think Mirage is out of this at all. They're a team that's going to try and get something figured out. If they can come up with a game plan here in between matches, we've seen them execute game plans when they come in with it. So they just need to piece this together here in between matches. Should be good to go into this third match. Luke showing up here still, but he's going to need to put out a little more to try and take this one home, as they are behind one game in the series.
Yeah, 2-1 the series lead for Absolute Leverage. We will get game 4 to you in just a moment. We want to make sure we get all the players in here and ready to go, get them all on a level playing field. It's a big one, as we keep mentioning in the standings. And game differential becoming so important. Mirage coming in at a -4 differential because they took some lumps early on and their wins haven't really been blowouts. Meanwhile, on the other side, Absolute Leverage, they're up above 500 in their overall games record. So yeah, they got to be feeling really good at this point no matter what, because, okay, even if they drop this series, they still have a decent overall games record, but if they can take this game here, it gets even better, whereas you've got a lot of teams that are much closer to 50-50.
Yeah, one of the things I like on the Alev side in that last match is that they did show up for their team, where Wondamike was the bottom player on the team that time. And typically when these wins are occurring, we're seeing Wondamike have these stellar performances, these over-the-top shots, these kind of blowout matches, and he was a bit understated in that last match. Couple double commit issues where he's still kind of all over the place. But as soon as he slowed down, it allowed those other two players to shine and start getting involved in the play. And we said that it sometimes is better when they're playing as a team. Unfortunately, in this situation, it did not work that way. Them playing as a team ended up being exactly what they needed to kind of get Wondamike back under control and get that game plan going.
Misspoke earlier, by the way. Absolute Leverage 9-12. I was looking at somebody else's record because, again, when it comes to numbers, you would think the guy that's a self-professed numbers nerd would just be all over them. No, I make mistakes too. I am human. We don't talk too much about those, so we'll just move on.
That's a reading error. That's a reading error, though. That wasn't a math problem. That was you just read the wrong line on the stat sheet. Your math's fine. Your math's fine.
Oh, yeah, no. My math is definitely not fine. We established that earlier today with Europe. So, with that in the rearview mirror, we look ahead now to game number 4. The players are ready to go. Everybody is set. And now, to just recap where we're at here. Absolute Leverage up 2-1 in the series. A pair of 1-goal victories for them. A 1-goal victory in game 2 for Mirage. They have been trading wins back and forth. They've been trading goals back and forth throughout this series. Now we go to game 4, where Mirage must win. As good as they looked last week, they then came back and laid an egg, albeit with a sub against Chaos on the B stream. But it was a costly loss nonetheless. Oof. So this one takes on a whole new significance, and J-Russ gets his first goal of the series. Again, better late than never.
Beautiful shot. Got up there, got right on the ball, ton of power. ends up getting the bouncer to that top corner. If you're going to have a first goal, sometimes you want it to just be that nice, clean shot. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top, just a nice, clean, good look at the net. Sometimes that's enough to get you going.
So it will be Kinsey, one to Mike. Nothing there from Kinsey. So now Luke, challenged by Rodoko. Possession remains for Mirage. And a good setup there will lead to Freshness getting his third.
J. Russ with that nice second touch to just quickly bank one off the wall out into the open. Puts it just, I believe it was just behind one to Mike, and opens that net right up.
This will bank out for Kinsey because he has to make sure Luke doesn't get a piece of it. And it will be one to Mike with Kinsey in the middle, trying to flick one on, and Freshness is all over it. 2-0 the lead for Mirage in a game they must win. J. Russ got, well, one more touch than he would have wanted. Rodoko playing lead blocker. One to Mike will score, and here we go. Buckle up.
That's a common theme from these guys. We see this happen a few times so far in this series. I believe that's possibly the third time we've seen it, at least the second, where they run that guy down, and then as soon as they get an isolated one-on-one, the second or third player from Alev is immediately downfield. They slow the ball down just enough to make sure they can get a second player involved in messing with that defender's head.
Bumps and demos are one of the big reasons teams have had to put a major focus on defense and maybe playing just a little more conservatively, because all of a sudden you can't get away with keeping one man back and throwing caution into the wind as often as you used to. That guy gets taken out. It's an open net. J. Russ going to try to drop one down to Luke. Kinsey got a piece. Luke is still there. He'll try to keep the play alive, but he has no boost. So he's going to have to eventually scramble back. He's just working off pennies right now, and he's going to need to float up. He barely does get a piece of that from one to Mike. And now Rodoko challenged by Freshness as Mirage tries to stop the bleeding here. Don't let Alev get any closer and tie up this game. One to Mike's got other plans, and he almost got the double.
Defender 5 coming through again, able to block that one away and strip it from one to Mike.
And now Kinsey and J. Russ. Luke is on his way out. Freshness in an awkward spot. This could be trouble. This is the opening absolute leverage needs. But Luke, sure-handed there, and he comes to the rescue. That is a huge defensive play for the orange side, and it leads to an opportunity as well. It's not a very good one, but they'll take anything they can get at this point. J. Russ got the dunk, but that's going to go wide. And Kinsey is looking towards one to Mike, but Mike couldn't go. He didn't have any boost.
I'm loving the speed from J. Russ right now and the number of touches that he's getting. He's almost like a more controlled one to Mike in the sense he's kind of ball chasing, but he's there. He's getting these 50s. He's there to greet the defender every single time and just try and keep the ball stuck in that end of the court, which is one of those things you want to do. Just eat clock. You're up one goal. There's no need to get insane with it. While you have people in the backfield, though, if you're able to sit there and get the boost and continue to steal those corners and cut rotations, just jam the ball up, gunk it up in their end.
Luke and Freshness both up for that ball, so it's on J. Russ, but he missed. Ooh. And Freshness barely kept it alive, but Kinsey there because nobody else got back. It was a double commit about 10 seconds ago that caused it.
That effort from Freshness, though, to try and keep it alive. Great attempt. Unfortunately, as the last man back with the double commit up the field, it's just going to leave you open when you get stuck against the side wall of your net like that.
Thrown across, it will be Rodoko, as all of a sudden, absolute leverage. They are rolling. They have brought it back with 2 unanswered. One to Mike. From the ceiling, this is going to go all the way across for Kinsey. Back out, and I don't think he wanted that second touch, but he was out of his control. One to Mike coming on with 50 seconds left. Ooh. He'll score on the near side. Another defensive breakdown.
Rodoko gonna get gifted an assist there as Wonder Mike comes through and says, I'll do it myself. Give me the ball. Off the back wall, puts it in.
When it looked like Mirage had it all figured out, game 4 rather, was going to be just like game 2. Instead, it is absolute leverage. They have come roaring back. Now they're threatening to close out the series. Wonder Mike looking for more, and he does.
Wonder Mike coming alive. Just talked about them getting one done where it was kind of the team effort and the team play there. Passing plays between Rodoko and Kinsey. Wonder Mike, though, must have heard something, decided he needed to get back involved, and he is having an all-star performance. 3 goals, 1 assist, 3 saves, and 8 shots on net so far here in game number 4.
Rodoko, second touch, will throw this deep into the corner. That may spell the end for Mirage in this series. When it looked like they were going to bring it back and force game 5, absolute leverage said absolutely not. Wonder Mike and Kinsey, what a series they had. Rodoko had his handprints all over this series as well. And it did, in fact, Supersonic, turn into a well-rounded team effort as Alev punches their ticket up into the middle of the standings, and they gum things up even more.
Everybody kind of finding the wins, or the teams that we're expecting to elevate themselves up out of this middle of the pack are taking losses at the most inopportune time. This is the back half of the season. You can't have this happening. This middle of the pack battle to see who's going to stay and who's going to get knocked into that bottom spot and who's going to go up to be in that third position to play in the promotional. On the North America side, it is gonna be a tooth and nail battle to the end.
And when you look at all these teams too, you know who the winners are today? The teams that didn't even play F. You got Stromboli and Chaos. They're sitting there on just 1 loss while everybody else below them just keeps taking L after L after L.
You know, with the exception of RBG still losing, unfortunately, it's kind of was the week of upsets, right? We saw a lot of different, Omni Nation fell down, 72 Pin Connectors wins. So a lot of different upsets. So you're right. I think the teams that didn't play, they dodged one. They didn't get involved when all the people that were supposed to win go down to the wayside. Great match there. Absolute leverage coming in the clutch. And what did I say? You know, not even being the glib guy. Check me out. I'm right. But I just have so much faith in this absolute leverage squad stacks. I think that they really can kind of bring it. They're 3-3 now. Where do you think they finish?
Gee, don't we have to like close out the broadcast? Like, can we just? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. You know, absolute leverage. If they keep this up. If they can keep this up, they can absolutely get at least into the discussion for top 3. As Omni Nation keeps falling down, Charlotte Phoenix, you figure they're going to finish around, they probably still have another loss or 2 in them. So a team like Alev, now that they're 3-3, they've got Mirage at 3-4, Monkey Business there at 3-3. Yeah, 6-3 could still get you into that 3rd place spot. 5-4, probably not so much, but 6-3, Alev catches fire. Yeah, they could get the promotion tournament.
It's going to be nuts. I think we have the standings here to take a look at North America and kind of see where that the players and the teams have landed. Mirage kind of winding up still here at 3-4. They're kind of struggling to kind of move out of that 4 spot. So as we look towards that Supersonic, I want your baby predictions. Who do you think is going to wind up in those high-end slots as we get closer to the end of the season?
Who do I think or who do I want? Because again, I mean, I said it at the beginning of this. I was, asked to root against Mirage. Which was a team that I thought if they could keep putting things together like they did after that performance against Stromboli, if they could come in with game plans like that, if they were executing, that was an intentional game plan decision, which it felt like. If they were doing that level of prep for every match, I thought that they would be up there. Absolute leverage, though, looked great today. in that fact that when Wonder Mike wasn't hot in a match, the other two showed up and they were there to kind of carry the game through, and they didn't let things get out of hand. So I do think that Absolute Leverage is a team that could surprise us and sneak up into that number 3 slot. We may see them in the promotional.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We saw some other teams, and it's all right if you have one guy, but you need 2 and 3 as well to really fill the pitch. Right now, let's fill the standings. Up on top, we still have Stromboli. They find a loss, but it's all good. 5-1 for those players. Chaos skipped this week, but they haven't skipped winning. It's 4-1 for them. And Omni Nation still in 3rd place despite their L this week. Charlotte Phoenix will continue to surge upwards like Absolute Leverage and, frankly, like Monkey Business. But unfortunately, on the other side of the coin, RBG down 0-6 and 72 pin connector despite their win this week. Still find themselves at number 8. So a little bit of a struggle bus for those teams down the bottom, but you were right, Sax, just a whole clump in the middle. They're all just kind of in this like wrestling arm lock type deal. How do they break out is the question we'll have to answer ourselves in a couple of weeks here. But if I ask you to pick one team from that middle to kind of ascend up to the top, where's your head at, Stacks?
Man, well, yeah, it's tough. If you're talking about the middle, if I can not count Charlotte Phoenix, I think I think they're the team that's going to get 3rd place. But it wouldn't surprise me if Absolute Leverage does, because you look at what they have left in their schedule, and it becomes oh so important. They don't play the final week, at least as it stands right now. They play RBG in a couple of days on the B stream. Then next week, they round out their season with 72 pin connector and Chaos. 2 of those 3, if you told me I'm finishing my season with 2 of those 3, and if I win all 3, then, I get into top 3, I'd take that. But that Chaos match is going to be a challenge.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch for sure. Just like today has been a lot of fun to watch. That wraps up our rival series, though. Thank you so much for joining us. Shifting out from the studio over to the home view and still having you guys in chat really means a lot. Keep tuning in. We've got the championship series going on this Saturday and Sunday. You don't want to miss it. Leaf and the boys still excited to bring you some Rocket League action. I'm Tom Battinger. These guys are my co-casters. Wash your hands and stay safe. Good luck and keep rocking on.